But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Dordme, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hello there, very good morning to you. Billions of pounds is squandered on asylum hotels due to incompetence.
A new report has found that a series of failures allowed the cost of 10-year asylum contracts to soar from £4.5 billion to £15.3 billion.
Now, it's also been revealed that the Home Office has failed to collect £46 million that it is being owed.
Elsewhere, David Lammy faces backlash from prison governors as he orders them to carry out extra checks on every inmate that they release.
Rachel Reeves leading a British delegation to Saudi Arabia today as she searches for economic growth with less than a month to go before the budget.
Prince Andrew will leave Royal Lodge if he can live at Frogmore Cottage. That's according to reports. He's asked for 2 homes, one for himself and one for his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson.
And it's revealed that men spent nearly £3,000 on keeping their friendships alive. That is £500 more than women. We're asking, have they become too expensive, and do you believe the figures?
Sell your friends, that's the answer, sell them. In sport this morning, lots of Premier League games yesterday saw Arsenal win and stay top and Wolves lose and stay bottom. In Scotland, Hearts are now 5 points clear after beating Celtic, and Lando Norris wins the Mexican Grand Prix and leads the Drivers' Championship now with just 4 races to go.
Hello, good morning. We'll see sunny spells across the UK during the day today, with showers gradually easing from the west, but further rain does arrive in the far west then as we go into the afternoon. I'll have all the details later.
It is a Monday morning. Thank you for starting your day and your week with us. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Miss Ellie still hasn't adjusted her body clock.
I'm feeling very topsy-turvy after we've gone back an hour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like last night we had dinner at 7 p.m. I thought I was eating at the middle of the night. It was pitch black outside from about 4 p.m. I feel very...
It's thrown you.
It has, it's thrown me.
You know what, it affects me as well. It does.
Does it?
Yeah, I don't know why, I just feel a bit funny.
The dark room, it happens to me every year and I just don't expect it.
Well, I was at a function last night, and which was very late. And obviously great because you get an extra hour in bed, so that I feel as if I've stolen that time back.
Do you? Good. What, even the next day? You haven't...
Well, of course, it's to my benefit.
Yeah.
But
you don't get that, do you?
I do get it, I do.
Right.
And how do you find the darker evenings? Do you find them cosy?
No, I don't like... I would suffer from that seasonal affective disorder.
Oh, would you? You need one of those lamps.
So, yeah, it's the darkness bit doesn't get me. I mean, and as for winter, I mean, the cold and whatever doesn't annoy me, as long as the skies are blue.
Yes.
Skies are blue.
Are you a bit throaty today, by the way? You sound a little bit throaty. I'm a bit worried about you.
No, it's...
Yeah, but
a lot of people, you say throaty.
Husky.
You say throaty, I mean, other people say to me sexy.
Well, one man's throat is another man's husk.
Yeah,
It's a husky voice.
Could well be.
Anyway, let us know how you're feeling.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
With the hours gone back.
Yes.
Can you relate to me?
See, it's the hour difference. That's what's affected his throat.
100%.
I tell you this, it's the hour.
This is it. And his voice is husky as a result.
And sexy, sorry, sexy.
Sexy as a result.
Look, what we're going to talk about is not sexy at all. This is about billions of pounds of taxpayer money that has been squandered on asylum hotels because of what is being described as a failed, chaotic and expensive system. Now, joining us in the studio, James Rempton. I always like to hear James' view on things like this. James, you couldn't make this up. No. You know, honestly, just when you think... I honestly despair at the way this country is run, and we're going down the tubes. That makes me more depressed than the clock situation, as to say. So billions of pounds wasted on hotels for migrants, for instance.
Yeah.
Get it off your chest.
Well, absolutely. I share your incandescent rage about it. It's just extraordinary. Over the past 10 years, the costs have gone up from 4.5 billion to 15.3 billion. I remember about 2 decades...
Not a word about it. Not a word. Nobody's warning us this has happened or whatever.
It's a stealth disaster. Well, until today, when it's on the front page of the Mail. But John Reid, I remember, when he was one of Tony Blair's many Home Secretaries, when he became Home Secretary, he said the Home Office wasn't fit for purpose. And it seems 2 decades later, nothing has changed. This new report from MPs says it's not up to the challenge. I was struck last week, people talking about the destruction of the East Wing by President Trump seemed emblematic of his wrecking ball presidency. But the government's failures on immigration are similarly symbolic of the disastrous time that they're having. You know, we may talk about Kabatu, who... bizarrely and totally inexplicably was waved goodbye on Friday by HMP Chelmsford. But these sort of calamities keep afflicting the government. And you think, you know, what else can happen?
Well, I'll tell you what else can happen. So your man gets released, whatever, out of prison, and Lammy acts all tough, and we're going to have an investigation, an inquiry, where he won't have an inquiry about other things, but they'll have an inquiry at the drop of a hat on this. And then the prisons go, oh, no, nothing to do with us. We don't want to be looked into and examined, because this could cost us 45 minutes more processing a prisoner out of jail. I mean, how blimmin'... I understand what the prisons are really saying is, we don't have any money, what are you making us do more work for? But that is their job. That is their job, to make sure that people are incarcerated and not allowed to be freed unnecessarily.
And the rest of us feel safe. Bizarrely, the man was apprehended about half a mile from where I live yesterday, and not that I felt threatened by him, but we knew he was in the area, and that does make you slightly uneasy. And apparently, he went back to the prison to say, what should I do?
There were reports he went back 5 times to the desk.
He was wandering around for an hour and a half, and they said, oh, the train station's over there. It's completely bizarre. If they have one job, job, the prison officers. It's to keep us safe, and they manifestly failed on that. And to watch the statement from the victim's father was heartbreaking. He said he only found out that he had disappeared after reporters knocked on his door. He went down to HMP Chelmsford and he said he got a very frosty response. It's absolutely outrageous.
Can we come back to the Home Office story and this £46 million that the Home Office has owed but hasn't attempted to recoup, we understand. This is from 2 contracts. So it does lead to the question, doesn't it? Well, where else is our taxpayer money being wasted? Where else is money being squandered? Because this is just 2 contracts.
Yeah, it's true. It does make you wonder. There's a lot of media focus on the moment at the government's attempt to recoup the money from the company that Michelle Mone was associated with, and that's very headline-grabbing, and lots of people will say that's a very good thing. But you're right. All these things are going under the radar. The amount of wastage that happens in government would make... If I had any hair, it would all fall out.
You see, this is why I can't stand listening to people like Rachel Reeves about saying the expenditure and our commitments to this, and we need to keep the spending up and whatever. I say I could walk into the Treasury Department now immediately and say, give me those first 10 files. No, yes, forget it. Absolutely. Are you trying to tell me you couldn't save money in the government?
Well, I would love to see you as Chancellor, Eamonn, for a start. You would be superb. But you're right. There's an awful lot that seems to just disappear. A bit like, you know, we've been hearing 60% of water disappears through leakage from the Victorian pipes. The system of government is faulty and enables a massive squandering of our money. That's what's really enraging, is it's our money that seems to be so carelessly handled. They're not looking after it. And this hotel story exemplifies that.
Yeah. We had this report last week, didn't we, into the Home Office saying that it was dysfunctional and detached from its core functions. And the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, was saying, look, it's not yet fit for purpose, but I can fix it. Do you think that this is potentially beyond repair?
Well, possibly. I mean, they say it's the worst job in government, the Home Office, because whatever you do, you get grief from either side. And I think she is making a difference. She's certainly tough on immigration. She's making all the right noises on that.
Is it just hot air, though?
Well, it's early days. She's only been Home Secretary for a few weeks. But Labour is hemorrhaging votes to reform at the moment, according to the polls. They have to do something about it, or they're going to be wiped out. All those red wall seats will fall to reform, and the 180-seat majority that Starmer enjoyed just a year ago, just over a year ago, will be wiped out. So they've got to do something about it.
And he'll be wiped out with it.
He will.
And I think the longer things go on, the more inept he's seen to be. He is a people pleaser. He travels around the world kissing everybody's backside, but not leading anything.
It's very funny. He is much more highly regarded abroad. You know, people say, oh, look what he's doing with Zelensky and how brilliantly he's finessed it with Trump and how wonderful he is with the EU, all of which may be true, but to most voters, that's a secondary issue. Of course, we care about the war in Ukraine. It's massively important for the future of Europe.
But people care more, and I may sound being cruel here, but the fact is people care more about the migrant boats than anything else.
And they also care about what Harold Wilson used to call the pound in their pocket.
Of course.
Yes.
You know, the cost of living.
The things that affect their lives on a daily basis.
And people who are having to go to food banks from previously middle-class existences, people who are struggling to pay the rent, that whole terrible phrase, heat or eat. You know, you either heat your flat or you buy food. Those are absolutely unthinkable choices.
My question is, how will people afford Christmas this year? I mean, a serious question.
I don't know. I mean, it's traditionally the best time of the year for the family. Families always make an effort to splash out, but then get into debt for the next few months because they're so keen for their children to have the most memorable time. But I agree, Eamonn, that is a looming crisis, and it will really sharpen people's minds about the way that Labour is failing on the economy.
OK. And the budget's, what, a month away?
Yeah.
26th November.
Good luck with that.
Well, look, good luck with you. Stay on with us. We're going to try and get some feedback as to what James is saying, if you agree disagree, have your say, right? It's all about having your say, and we will reflect that if you get in touch with us.
Well, the Home Office has given us this statement saying the government is furious about the number of illegal migrants in this country and in hotels. That is why we will close every single asylum hotel, saving the taxpayer billions of pounds. We have already taken action, closing hotels, slashing asylum costs by nearly £1 billion, and exploring the use of military bases and disused properties.
So who's going to have their local military base transformed? I mean, this is all nonsense. All these statements, they mean
absolutely nothing. Who would be happy to see that? Yeah.
Because, again, James, forgive me for bringing you back in here.
Quite happy.
But, you know, if there's an old RAF base beside you or whatever, and someone says, right, we're going to move 2,000 migrants into that, does the local community accept that? I don't think so.
Yes, I mean, we look at what's happened in Epping, you know, there are, and all over the country, actually, there have been protests about that. So that's a really delicate diplomatic issue for the government to try and convince people that it's in the national interest to allow people into the country and to stay on these disused bases. But you're right, a huge kind of people-pleasing exercise will have to take place in order to convince people that it's OK.
Yeah, OK. So, anyway, tell us about the Justice Secretary.
Well, yes, elsewhere, the Justice Secretary, David Lammy, is facing backlash from prison governors. It's after ordering them to carry out extra checks on every inmate that's been released, with one source saying that the new checks could take as long as 45 minutes per prisoner.
Not bad. 45 minutes, not bad.
Well, they'll say they're understaffed, won't they?
Yeah.
So they don't have the capacity
for this.
And that's
their argument. They're saying that, although that's your job, you should be doing it.
Of course.
And the government should be paying to have the whole system organised, financed in the right way. So, in response, David Lammy highlighted the need for prison reform ahead of a statement which is going to happen today.
We will be increasing our funding to probation. We will ensure that there are more prison places, 14,000 extra prison places over this next period. We have to continue to support our prison officers at this time, particularly against violent offenders in our prison. I will be making a full statement to Parliament tomorrow, and then of course we've got a sentencing bill going through Parliament which will also support the system and make the system stronger.
Well, of course, this comes after convicted sex offender Hadush Kabatu was apprehended in the Finsbury Park area of North London yesterday morning following his accidental release from prison on Friday.
OK, let's now talk to Jack Hadfield. Jack is a journalist covering the whole migrant crisis. Is all well that ends well, Jack? What do you think about this?
Well, it was just, quite frankly, a remarkable story, wasn't it? You know, you had Hadush Kabatu wandering around London sort of in a very sort of Mr. Bean-ish way. It seems like, honestly, I don't think that he knew that there was this entire manhunt going out for him. He was wandering around in his grey tracksuit with an avocado bag, just doing what he was doing. And as we saw from the from eyewitness accounts of his arrest, he went pretty easily. And we know this as well, that he was, in fact, trying to almost make sure that he was deported back at HMP Chelmsford. That's certainly what reports were saying, and that he knew he was going to be deported, and he was very, very confused
Jack, he
when
knew,
they told him to go to the train station.
We knew, we all know why he was there and where he was going to, or where he was supposed to be going to. Why didn't the prison service know? What do you think has happened here that no one seemed to be invested enough in the people to know you're a goodie, you're a baddie, you're due for release, you're not?
Well, I'm just not sure, but there is something clearly critically wrong with the prison service and their early release system. If you look at the number of accidental releases from around the year 2004 until a few years ago, it was hovered at around 50 releases a year. And then from 2020, really from kind of when lockdown happened, you notice there was a bit of an increase in 2022, 2023 was 81. The next year after that, it was around 150, and this year, the previous year to date, has been 282. So it's something over the last few years institutionally has changed so that we are getting so many more people accidentally released. I think we have a massive competency crisis within our prison system and frankly, within the state generally. Again, HMP Chelmsford also released earlier somebody from prison, a convicted fraudster, after they were just sent in a fake letter, supposedly from the Royal Courts of Justice, saying that this man should be released. And they took it completely at face value, which is insane to think. So, you know, if I know somebody in prison who's a murderer or whatever, I guess I could just type up on my laptop a letter that says, release my friend now, please. And the prison service will look at it and go, oh, okay, sounds reasonable, sounds sensible.
But
so
of course,
there are clearly not enough checks. There's something going wrong terribly in the system. And as I said, we still have no idea what it is yet, but hopefully this inquiry will figure out what it was.
But Jack, of course, they would say that they're underpaid, they're overworked, that there simply aren't enough people working in these prisons, so things will inevitably go wrong. What do you make of this backlash? David Lammy ordering prison governors to carry out extra checks on every inmate that they release. They're saying that's going to take 45 minutes per prisoner. There simply isn't the capacity to do that.
Yeah, I think that really is the question, because there's oftentimes, you know, everyone will say it's the NHS, for example. The problem will always be there's just not enough money. But sometimes there really is the competency crisis as well. That's the thing. We just cannot tell what is going on here. But I am concerned, for example, about there seems to be more of an uptick generally, for example, in the hiring of foreign nationals for the prison service and to the state in general. You know, if you're wondering if people coming from overseas, perhaps, you know, they can't speak English maybe as well, they can't necessarily be trained as properly, perhaps that's one of the reasons. And I do think understaffing will probably be a factor as well. But generally, if you look at how the state seems to have broken down over the last few years, not just the prison service, there seem to be a lot of people in, say, social care, the NHS, the prison service, the border force, wherever it may be, who just can't seem to do their job properly. So I think it would be a combination of both factors. I do think probably there is a lot of money that's being wasted, you know, in the state generally that probably should be directed to hiring the right people for the job. And then also I am concerned that the people who are doing the job right now are not them. So I certainly agree with both points.
And well summed up, Jack, well summarised. Final point, is it going to get worse before it gets better? Will it ever get better?
I mean, will it ever get better? Exactly. It might not necessarily get better at all. Really, we'll have to see what the inquiry comes out with and why exactly he was released. And frankly, with somebody like Kadash Kabatu, with somebody as high profile a prisoner as that, then you really have to look into it, because surely somebody would have recognized his face from the news or his name even and have gone, Kadash Kabatu, I just heard that he was sentenced to 12 months and he's just got in here. Surely he can't be being released right now. So that really does take the biscuit, quite frankly, with this case. Of course, the parents and the family were very...
we can talk about
exactly
being,
right, Eamonn.
No, we can talk about
what has gone on?
undermanned or whatever, but blooming common sense. If you're qualified to do the job, if you know what your job is,
you'd think it would be obvious, wouldn't you? Thank you, Jack. Thank you. And also, the serious side to all of this is he is a danger to women and girls. I mean, he's been jailed for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. How do you accidentally release someone who has sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl? Surely alarm bells would ring. Let us know what you think. gbnews.com/yours.
Oh, I need a daily reflection. Let's have one.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hello, my name's Andrew Satch and I'm an Anglican minister at Grace Church, Greenwich. I want to talk today about what it means to be a saint. I used to work in the office of a church in Cambridge called St Andrew the Great, and I'd answer the phone, "Good morning, St Andrew the Great," and one of my friends always found it hilarious to reply, "Good morning, St Andrew." But even though he was joking, he's not so wrong. It is appropriate to call me St Andrew. Not because I've done any miracles or seen a vision of the Virgin Mary or lived a saintly life, but just because I'm a follower of Jesus. In the Bible, the word Christian is only used 3 times, but the word saint comes 62 times. It's the most common way to refer to a Christian in the Bible. And sometimes the most unlikely people are called saints. The Corinthian church in the first century was one of the most messed up churches in history. The church members were dragging each other through the courts. They were divided into bitter factions, each with their favourite preacher. Their communion services, quote, do more harm than good. You might say they're not exactly saints, but they were. The Apostle Paul wrote to the church in Corinth, to those sanctified in Christ Jesus, called to be saints. The transforming message of Jesus isn't just for religious heroes, it's for screwed up people, but the grace of Jesus transforms them. So you can call me Saint Andrew.
Now, 22 minutes past 6, let's get a check on your weather with Marco.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good morning. Here's your latest weather update from the Met Office for GB News. During the wet day today, we'll see a mixture of sunshine and blustery showers across the UK. Those showers gradually starting to ease from the west, although at the expense of some rain arriving across Northern Ireland during the afternoon. So back to the detail for today, and we've got quite a keen northerly breeze blowing across the UK during the morning. Plenty of showers feeding down in that northerly breeze. As I say, the showers are starting to ease from the west into the afternoon, so mostly confined towards the north of Scotland and down the eastern counties of England as we go into the afternoon. And then later in the day, outbreaks of rain do reach Northern Ireland, certainly by the early evening. Temperatures generally on the chilly side towards the north still at around about 8 or 9 degrees, peaking at 13 or 14 down towards the south and southwest. As we go into the latter stages of the day, we hold on to quite a few showers across the northeast of Scotland. Still quite a brisk breeze blowing here, but notice out towards the west and southwest, those outbreaks of rain starting to push in from off the Atlantic, and certainly a wet end of the day across Northern Ireland with some heavy bursts of rain in places here. Some rain also pushing across the Irish Sea into West Wales and westernmost counties of England, but elsewhere across central, southern and eastern parts of England, it's a fine end to the day with fairly clear skies in places. As we go into the evening though, and through the overnight period, it will turn more unsettled across all parts. For those outbreaks of rain pushing east and southeastwards across all areas, so a pretty unsettled night to come. And we'll see some snow across the higher ground in Scotland. Cold enough here for a touch of frost as well by Tuesday morning. We'll see temperatures in rural spots down close to freezing, but holding up near at 9 or 10 degrees, so relatively mild there down towards the south and southwest of the UK. As for Tuesday, well, another unsettled day is in store. Low pressure dominating, giving further showers or longer spells of rain. I think the best of any sunshine between those showers will be down across parts of England and Wales, whereas again towards the north there, certainly across the highest ground in Scotland, still a bit of a wintry flavour to some of those outbreaks of rain with some snow across the mountains. Temperatures still quite chilly for the time of year, peaking at around about 7 to 10 in the north, up to 14 or 15 down towards the south. That's into the upper 50s in Fahrenheit.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
And we're also in the mood to give things away, and it doesn't get any better than this. It could be yours.
There's 4 days remaining to see how you could be our biggest winner this year with a prize worth over £104,000. First, you could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. Worth over £74,000, this luxury vehicle comfortably sleeps 4, has its own fitted kitchen and bathroom areas, and comes complete with fitted awning and bicycle rack. And that's not all, as we'll also give you a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. Someone is guaranteed to win our biggest prize to date. But hurry, get your entry in now. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
With that, we'll take a break. Up after that, lots of Premier League games yesterday, and Paul Coyte will be here with the sport and the results next.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Hello there, Mr. Paul Coit, as we go through the
good morning
sport from yesterday, and well done your team, Tottenham.
Spurs did well.
Spurs did well. I'll come to them in a second. I mean, firstly, it's not very often I would do this, but I will start with Arsenal instead of Spurs. But 1-0 to the Arsenal, which seems to be the old score, which is coming back again. They beat Crystal Palace. An amazing goal from Eberici Eze, by the way, who, of course, came from Crystal Palace, scored the winner against his old side.
Must be horrible.
Did he celebrate or didn't he celebrate?
I would say he didn't.
You're right, he didn't celebrate. Yeah. He was just like very... But yeah, it's a tricky thing. So anyway, Arsenal are now 4 points clear.
You can celebrate next year.
Yeah, I guess so. You give it another year, then you're OK. They're now 4 points clear of Bournemouth, who are second. It's unbelievable what Bournemouth are doing.
Well done, Bournemouth. I mean, that's great. So they beat Forest 2-0.
They did.
And the most lovely ground, I always go on about this, where Bournemouth is located, and up the most lovely side street of a very residential suburban street.
Sounds lovely.
Yes.
Nice part of the world.
There's no other team like it. No other ground like it.
And who would have thought when Bournemouth went up, you just think years ago and you think, Bournemouth, it's crazy. But they have been brilliant.
I may be wrong here. I don't think I am wrong because I'm seldom wrong.
Every now and again.
George Best used to play for Bournemouth.
Did he? Well, Harry Redknapp was the boss way back.
You see, there's the doubt comes in from Mr. Paul here.
Let me have a look.
No, it's not a doubt. Did he? But he played. I was going to say George Best did play around. Well, yes, he did. But what about the football? But Bournemouth, I can see him in a red and black stripes.
A brief 5-match stint for Bournemouth in 1983.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good.
He joined the club at 36.
Did he?
Yeah.
And he retired at 27, was the first retiring, wasn't it? And then came back. Played at Hibs for a little while, didn't he?
He was at Hibs,
I remember that. And then Fulham a little bit later.
And then the American team, the Los Angeles Aztecs.
Los Angeles Aztecs.
He has got around, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's what Paul said.
Yeah, he has played around.
He's got around there.
In his day. Bless him. Manchester City lost 1-0 at Aston Villa. Pep Guardiola says he's not worried about the 6-point gap between them and Arsenal.
But a very good result for Villa when you think about it, when their European ambitions.
Villa are on the turn now. They had a bad start, but they are on the turn. Wolves, though, so Wolves stay bottom. It's all getting a little bit toxic. It's all getting a bit bad now at Molineux. So they lost to a last. They were 2-2. They were 2-0 down to Burnley, brought it back to 2-2. 95th minute, they lose 3-2.
Yeah.
So then you've got Vitor Pereira goes. See, this is the dangerous thing. What do? When the fans are shouting and screaming and having a go and really having a go at the team, do you just walk away or do you then walk? See, he went up to the fans and then started to remonstrate with them, and it all got a little bit uncomfortable. So probably not the right thing to do under the circumstances. And then Spurs beat Everton 3-0.
Yeah,
at the
good result, very good result. Were you third
at the moment.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
Not looking so good for Celtic, but looking very good for Hearts.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think we've mentioned this before. Do you know the last time there was a team that wasn't Celtic or Rangers that won the title in Scotland. Do you know how many years ago it was?
It wasn't Celtic Rangers, we've been to Aberdeen.
That's right.
Yeah.
3,000 years. No, it was a long time. When do you think it was?
Was Fergie in charge?
Yeah.
17 years.
17, a little bit further.
No, it'd be 30 years.
41 years.
41 years.
41 years was the last time either Celtic or Rangers.
Yeah.
So Hearts, I mean, it's early days, but they did really well. They beat Celtic 3-1. See, it's a wobbly time for Celtic, wobbly time for Rangers, and if ever it's going to happen, probably this is the year. Okay. So well done to them.
Got you.
A little bit of motor racing, Mexico Grand Prix, Lando Norris won that yesterday. Oh, my goodness, I've just thought.
What?
Do you remember last week we had a complaint about Warners if you're going to mention the Grand Prix?
Oh, well, you've just done it again.
I had a message again saying, please, can you warn me? So just give us a warning if you're going to mention.
Ridiculous. In this day of instant communications around the world, there are people who sit and lock themselves up in their bedroom and they're going to watch this. Just give them the result. I can't stand
Lando Norris won the Mexican Grand Prix. There you go.
Good, OK.
There you go. Topsy-turvy season he's had. One in Australia. Piastri did well, took control, and now things have turned round. So good luck, Lando Norris. 4 races to go now.
OK, and the Sheffield Wednesday viral video?
Yeah, have a look at this. Now, before I play it for you, actually I was with Chris Waddle and David Hurst, who both play for Sheffield Wednesday only on Friday, talking about that on the day that Sheffield Wednesday's gone into receivership. Now, on Saturday, they played Oxford, and on the big screen, this I thought was inspired. Now, have a look at this. Oh, we're not going to be able to see it.
Well, that'll keep
Next
you on
time.
your toes for the next outing, 20 past 7.
I've gone into receivership now after that. So, anyway, we'll do it at 7:30. It is excellent.
It'll be worth the wait.
Oh, my goodness, it's
promises.
Thanks, Coity.
Yeah.
Right, let's get a check now on your traffic and travel.
Do we have that?
We do have...
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A9 northbound at Luncarty is closed for roadworks. Diversions with longer times are in place. M48 restricts over 7.5 tonnes vehicles. On the M62 eastbound between junctions 22 and 24, 2 lanes are closed. There's a collision on the M25 clockwise between junctions 16 and 17, blocking 3 lanes. A27 eastbound is closed between the A270 and A293 for management. And on the trains, expect disruption between Leeds and York, and buses replace trains between Corkicle and Whitehaven. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Do stay with us. Still to come, Prince Andrew's finances face scrutiny from a spending watchdog. We're going to have more on that next with Dawn Neeson and Christopher Biggins. But first, if you're in search of some holiday sun, here's the forecast across Europe.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello, here's your latest holiday sun forecast brought to you by the Met Office. Western parts of the Med are set to see some thundery showers over the next few days, but mostly fine further east. So on Tuesday, the Canaries look fine, but across Madeira and certainly parts of Portugal, some heavy outbreaks of rain developing at times. The central part of the Med not looking too bad, isolated showers, some fairly warm sunshine. Some warm sunshine in the east too, but also some thundery showers. And over the next few days, we hold on to thundery showers in the west, mostly fine though the further east you go.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
I'm Michelle Dewberry, this is Jubes & Co with you.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here with GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection. Tune in to GB News, anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, DC.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Delighted to welcome into the studio Dawn Neeson and don't tell me,
What's his name?
What's his name? The actor, Christopher Biggins. Always
Good morning.
Who you hear before you see. Now listen, do you know, I want to talk to you both about Prince Andrew. Here he is over the front page of the Sun, and the headline is "Two Pads Andy," because there's this negotiation going on that he should be thrown out of his existing house, and he wants two houses in return. Christopher, why does he want two houses?
Well, I'm not standing up for him because I think he's appalling what he's been doing and what he's done. But however, I do think there's now a bit of a witch hunt going on. I mean, you know, he did a deal for that house he's living in. And the deal was that he would get a peppercorn rent and he would put in a lot of money, millions of pounds supposedly, to renovate it and keep it up to a good standard. Now, when I came to London years and years and years ago, I stayed somewhere very, very, very cheaply. And it was a one-room kitchen and bathroom. And I took the next door flat and made it 2 rooms, kitchen and bathroom. And I was helped by the people who owned it. I did a deal. Now, I know so many people who do deals in order to live somewhere. Yeah. And I think this is appalling what people are doing in the press, saying that, you know, he should be got out. I mean, I think if he wasn't as strong as he is, there could be someone who would take their own life after this situation.
I think it's the optics, though, isn't it? I mean, this is a story of young girls being exploited, sexually exploited by the rich and powerful. So then him living in a 30-room mansion on the royal estate doesn't sit well with people. No, I mean, if he were to downsize to Frogmore Cottage, which we heard a lot from Harry and Meghan about how small it was and how awful it was, I mean, for a lot of people, that would be karma. That's where he belongs.
Yes, yeah, listen, I'm not standing up. I think what he did was appalling, and the fact that he didn't come true to his situation, I think it is wrong. But I do think enough is enough, you know.
And Virginia Giuffre did take her on life.
Yes.
And on top of that.
Yeah.
Dawn. What do you think?
Look, I think I've met him once. I found him incredibly condescending, patronising and arrogant when I met him. And I think he has not been found guilty of doing anything wrong in this country whatsoever. But he is a proven liar now. We know he has lied to us about his relationship with Epstein when it finished, etc., as did Sarah Ferguson. So at the very least, regardless, and I know lots of people out there are saying, Virginia Giuffre, she was 17 in this country. It wasn't illegal what he did, and he's always denied any wrongdoing. Let's make that clear. So lots of people are, a bit like Biggins, not feeling sympathy for him as such, but thinking it's a bit of a witch hunt going on now. It's like non-stop. Every single day there is another Andrew story. I do think people are very angry, especially with the cost of living crisis and the budget coming up, when we're talking about whether you're renting or whether you're a homeowner. Certainly if you're a pensioner, you are going to be hammered one way or another about your property. I do think there's a lot of anger about the fact he's living in this huge room. The reason he needs 2 pads is because he wants one for Fergie and one for him, by the way. Question about their relationship. Why, 30 years on from a divorce, would he want a separate home for Sarah Ferguson? I think because where they are at the moment, it's a 30-bedroom, a 30-room. The Royal Lodge is 30 rooms, so you can have the East Wing and the West Wing. You must have this problem at home, Ellie. I wish. When you have a row. But you can have one wing each, whereas the 2 cottages we're talking about, them maybe downsizing to, they're much smaller. So you would be living in one another's pockets. Not by most normal people's standards, obviously, but, I mean, you know, a 5-bedroom Frogmore cottage. I mean, it's 5 bedrooms, for God's sakes. But I think it's like one for him, one for her, because it's too small for them to live in the same place. But their relationship is very, very curious, full stop. Certainly is. Biggins, please, can we talk about the Louvre heist? And 2 people have been arrested.
Well, I mean, I think most people were sort of so stunned by this robbery. I mean, it was so blatant.
It's like out of a film.
Unbelievable. I mean, I think when they put that ladder up, I mean, you know, it was extraordinary. I mean, it makes you think we could all do it. We could all go along with a ladder and rob something. I mean, you know, it was a terrible thing to do. But at least they've now arrested 2 men who... Now, I don't know whether they've taken the actual jewellery, though, whether they've got hold of the...
No, they haven't. They're still missing. There was a 4-man, we assume they're men, gang. 2 were arrested. 1 on the way to Algeria.
Yeah,
we think he's a joint Algerian national as well. We know there's a lot of Algerian migrants in France, obviously. 2 are still on the run, and the jewels are still missing.
Yeah.
But they left DNA everywhere, didn't they? Hair, fingerprints.
Yes.
They dropped the tiara. Yeah.
Well, it was an inside job.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, it had to be an inside job.
And then the fact the French go, oh, my God, it's an inside job, and everyone's going, yeah, well, of course it was. I mean, how did you not know that?
Yeah.
They've moved everything. Oh, sorry, yes, go on. What were you going to say?
Anyone would think it was your show, Eamonn Holmes.
Do you want us to finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did.
Another break
We've got to go to the break, and then we've got lots to hear from you right after this. Don't go away.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Sunday with Michael Portillo from 11, only on GB News.
They've completely refigured the inside of this theatre. So the stalls have been made into sort of tiered stadium seating. It's in the round. They've built seats and a balcony at the back as well.
In the Old Vic?
In the Old Vic. Absolutely. So this is a huge amount of effort's gone into this. Yep. Susan Sarandon, 79, Oscar winner. I have to say, superb, vivid.
Thelma and Louise.
Absolutely. And I love what she was doing here. People aren't always... This is her UK stage debut.
Extraordinary.
Completely convincing. Beautiful, nuanced. It's got Andrea Riseborough, incredible actress. Eleanor Worthington-Cox, who I love, who was in Next to Normal, but won an Olivier as a kid for Matilda. So this is Mary Page Marlowe. We've got 5 actresses playing the same woman through different times in her life, backwards and forwards through time. And we have got the playwright, Tracy Letts, giving us a little insight into what he was trying to do with the play.
What are the 11 scenes you would choose to illustrate your life, to tell you who you are?
I watched some clips of people in America talking about it when it first came out, curious to see if I was missing something. And they talked about, it's a puzzle, how would you put your life in 11 scenes? And one of the people on the video mentioned it's a bit like a quilt, which always makes me groan a bit because there's a quilt at the start of the stage. This makes me groan.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, Susan Sarandon at the end, and she's great all the way through. Her final sort of big moving speech is she's taken a quilt into a dry cleaner and she starts talking about it, and it's different panels, like different bits of her life, and one panel that she loves most has a woman slightly turned away, bit mysterious. Who is she, Michael? What happened in her? And I just cringed, and I've seen a lot of 3-star reviews, which for me is just polite.
The People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Dawn and Higgins here going through the newspapers, and I want to talk about this story that's front page of the Daily Mail, which is no laughing matter.
No, it's not.
Say. Billions of pounds wasted, billions, not millions, billions of pounds wasted on hotels for migrants, and no one knew about it, Dawn.
Well, I mean, the thing is, they kind of did. I think every single person...
You don't get a politician coming on telly and saying, this is costing us billions of pounds.
The thing is, right, every sensible person in this country knows that the Home Office is not fit for purpose. This is a cross-party investigation into what the hell's going on with the Home Office. And MPs themselves, marking their own homework, are finally admitters that it is wasted billions on a frankly insane migration policy with the hotels and the contracts that were given out to companies to run these hotels. We've all seen stories right over the last year of, you know, blokes sitting on beaches in Spain looking like gangsters who run these hotels.
PPE
yeah, like the Clear Springs thing.
Well.
And, you know, in a lot of areas where these contracts to run the migrant hotels were handed out, there was only one person who put a bid in, so they also there was no questions asked.
Yeah.
And they've made absolutely billions, Ellie. I mean, you know, how much do you want? Here, there was literally no terms and conditions put them on. The thing is with this story, the list of flaws, it goes on and on and on, but it all comes down to the Home Office being absolutely useless. Now, this was something John Reid pointed out in 2006. No. And we are still... changed. Nothing has changed.
You know, we've got I live in Hackney. In Hackney, there's a big commercial hotel which has been closed for a long, long time. Yeah. The front... Can't go in the front. Mm-hmm. You go around the back and they let them in the back and it's full.
But I'll tell you, Biggins, I mean, people like us, we have to use hotels a lot because we have to travel around the country a lot and whatever it is. But if I knew it was a migrant hotel, I don't think I would use it again.
No, nor would I.
Just something built into me which says, oh, no.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think, you know, it's an excuse for hotels to earn a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, you know, more than they would probably earn if they wasn't the situation.
Well, I mean, the system's flawed in the first place. These people should not be put in hotels. They shouldn't be coming over here on the boats.
No.
Stop. So it's flawed in the first place. But if you are going to invent this system, and this isn't just the Labour Party, Conservative Party, previous Labour Party, whichever government's been in power for a long time, it's like, you know, if you're going to put them in hotels, at least make sure you have it contractually watertight, that nobody can take the mickey, putting it politely, out of the taxpayer, and that is exactly what's happened. But the Home Office, remember, there was a report over the weekend where rather than actually helping ministers, it really is, yes, minister, rather than helping ministers, they're just going their own woke way. You know, they have meetings where they're discussing, have they bring their whole self into work. They have circles where they sit around and talk about their mental health. 45 million pounds that they are owed and they're yet to collect.
Perhaps they should
talk about owing money. There is a big story, Biggins, in the papers today. I want you both to get both your opinions on this. That when it comes to spending money on your friends, men spend more than women looking after their friends. And I would have thought...
I would have thought it was the other way around. Me too,
I would have thought it was.
I'm surprised at this.
But apparently, I know it doesn't apply to you. You don't spend anything.
See, I would have thought it was women, because women take each other out and
What do you
things,
think?
don't they?
Well, I think, in a way, I think men are generous.
Yes.
Because they like the fact that they want to please their lovers or their wives or their husbands or whatever. And I think it's because the men are considered to be mean and not do that. I think there's more of it happening than you think.
Yeah.
I think that men do actually want to spend some money on their...
But Ellie, I'll be interested in your opinion on this. You see, I find women love buying candles, for instance.
Oh, I love a candle.
You're not talking about 25 quid candles.
No.
You're talking about £100 candles,
Yeah.
right?
And incense
I look at this and
sticks
say, you spent what?
Nice smelly bits, yeah.
What?
It'd be show candles. You don't burn them necessarily.
What do you mean? You just put them on top of the mantelpiece?
Exactly. You just stare at them for years. But you can't burn them because you're literally setting fire to money.
Men or women? Who's the more generous?
Call me cynical about men. Okay, I'm a lot older than Ellie, but I do think men spending money, and you alluded to spending money on your lover. I think men spend money on other people because they want something in return. Don't all hate me at once. But I think women we are naturally more nurturing and more caring. I think we spend money on people because we care about them, not care about us. Sorry, I know that sounds horribly sexist, but hey.
It is.
You're probably right.
Live with it.
I think you're probably right. Also, I don't think...
They've gone very quiet, Ellie, you notice. Both of them. Come on.
But I feel like...
I'm trying to think what I want in return for what I spend.
But you wouldn't go out with a mate, would you, and take them out for an afternoon tea and...
No, you
an
do,
afternoon
but I
champagne?
wouldn't bring them out for a meal or go to the pub. Or...
But it's cheaper, isn't it? It's a cheaper way of doing
But I can't see
things.
me spending £2,000 or £3,000 on one person over the year.
Yeah.
You might do it with a number of people, but what would it involve, Biggins? The pub, restaurants...
just watching the football.
Going Dutch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe going to sporting events. Yeah, you're right.
This is Biggins you're talking to, by the way. Biggins, when was the last time you paid to eat in a restaurant?
Here's Marco with your weather situation. Let's have a look.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good morning. Here's your latest weather update from the Met Office for GB News. During the wet day today, we'll see a mixture of sunshine and blustery showers across the UK. Those showers gradually starting to ease from the west, although at the expense of some rain arriving across Northern Ireland during the afternoon. So back to the detail for today, and we've got quite a keen northerly breeze blowing across the UK during the morning. Plenty of showers feeding down in that northerly breeze. As I say, the showers are starting to ease from the west into the afternoon, so mostly confined towards the north of Scotland and down the eastern counties of England as we go into the afternoon. And then later in the day, outbreaks of rain do reach Northern Ireland, certainly by the early evening. Temperatures generally on the chilly side towards the north still at around about 8 or 9 degrees, peaking at 13 or 14 down towards the south and southwest. As we go into the latter stages of the day, we hold on to quite a few showers across the northeast of Scotland. Still quite a brisk breeze blowing here, but notice out towards the west and southwest, those outbreaks of rain starting to push in from off the Atlantic, and certainly a wet end of the day across Northern Ireland with some heavy bursts of rain in places here. Some rain also pushing across the Irish Sea into West Wales and westernmost counties of England, but elsewhere across central, southern and eastern parts of England, it's a fine end to the day with fairly clear skies in places. As we go into the evening, though, and through the overnight period, it will turn more unsettled across all parts. For those outbreaks of rain pushing east and southeastwards across all areas, so a pretty unsettled night to come. And we'll see some snow across the higher ground in Scotland. Cold enough here for a touch of frost as well by Tuesday morning. We'll see temperatures in rural spots down close to freezing, but holding up near at 9 or 10 degrees, so relatively mild there down towards the south and southwest of the UK. As for Tuesday, well, another unsettled day is in store. Low pressure dominating, giving further showers or longer spells of rain. I think the best of any sunshine between those showers will be down across parts of England and Wales, whereas again towards the north there, certainly across the highest ground in Scotland, still a bit of a wintry flavour to some of those outbreaks of rain with some snow across the mountains. Temperatures still quite chilly for the time of year, peaking at around about 7 to 10 in the north, up to 14 or 15 down towards the south. That's into the upper 50s in Fahrenheit.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Drivers using the A9 northbound at Luncarty should be aware of ongoing essential overnight roadworks, with on and off slips currently closed. Diversions are in place, so expect extended journey times. On the M48, a weight restriction of 7.5 tonnes is in effect for heavy goods vehicles from the 27th of May 2025 until further notice. In West Sussex, the M23 northbound entry slip at Junction 9 has a broken down vehicle leading to one-lane closure. And on the trains, there is Elna disruption between Leeds and York, alongside northern buses replacing trains between Corkicle and Whitehaven. Stay updated with gbnews.com for more travel news.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
It's the final week to see how you can become our biggest winner this year. First, you could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxury vehicle comfortably sleeps 4, has its own fitted kitchen and bathroom areas, and comes complete with fitted awning and bicycle rack. And that's not all, as we'll also give you a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Britain was once the envy of the world, but look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though. I'm so surprised. I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Billions of pounds of taxpayers' money is being squandered on asylum hotels due to incompetence.
This is in a new report, which has found that a series of failures allowed the cost of the 10-year asylum contracts to soar from £4.5 billion to £15.3 billion.
It also revealed that the Home Office has failed to collect £46 million that it is owed.
David Lammy faces backlash from prison governors as he orders them to carry out extra checks on every inmate they release. They say it will take them 45 minutes per prisoner. Is it worth it or is it not?
The Chancellor is leading a UK delegation to Saudi Arabia today as she searches for economic growth, with less than a month to go now until the budget.
Prince Andrew will leave his current home if he can live at Frogmore Cottage, according to reports. He has now asked for 2 homes for himself and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson.
It's been revealed that men spend nearly £3,000 on keeping their friendships alive. That's £500 more than women. So this morning we're asking, have friendships become too expensive?
And in sport this morning, lots of Premier League games. Yesterday saw Arsenal win and stay top as Wolves lose and stay bottom. In Scotland, Hearts are now 5 points clear after beating Celtic in the Scottish Premiership, and Lando Norris has won the Mexico Grand Prix and he now leads the Drivers' Championship with just 4 races to go.
Hello, good morning. We'll see sunny spells across the UK during the day today, with showers gradually easing from the west, but further rain does arrive in the far west then as we go into the afternoon. I'll have all the details later.
Hello there, very good morning to you on this Monday morning, where I would say it is 7 o'clock, but all the clocks in the studio are saying 8 o'clock.
That's true, actually.
Nobody hasn't turned them
I've just realised that.
Which raises a point. Have you turned your microwave clock back, your cooker clock, all those sort of things? Anyway, I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Know how to turn them back, nor could I be bothered.
No, I did start to play around with it yesterday, and no way on the oven.
So for 6 months a year, your clock is fine on the oven. That's it.
Yeah.
We're now hitting to trouble.
Because then you know, and then you get to that point in the year where you think, oh, there's less time to go before we have to do it again.
Just leave it up
That's
there.
terrible.
Yeah. Why do you have to do that? I mean, your phone updates automatically.
That all does it, yeah.
Yeah, that's all good.
I haven't changed my wristwatch yet.
Oh,
Just
that's
noticed.
easy. You can do that
8
now.
o'clock. I know, I find it quite fiddly. Do you want to have a go?
Yeah, I'll do it. Just pull it out
You
and turn
feel
it.
tired and whatever.
Yeah, I'm all on the skew if it really knocks me for 6 this hour going back. At least we've got an hour extra in bed. I can't complain. But I do feel a bit... It just feels very, very dark and cold all of a sudden. Thanks, Coity.
Cold winter.
Exactly. And it shocks me every year. I don't know why. Look, talking of winter and this time of year, and Halloween coming up, there's a story in the papers today. 1 in 3 British people say they believe in ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts? I know you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, listen. Oh, yeah, you know, I've got a
you've got a
haunting...
ghost.
I can't do anything with this, by the way.
I told
I'm
you.
having terrible
It's
trouble.
fiddly, isn't
It's
it?
far too fiddly for me.
Told you. Eamonn, you have a go.
It's like pulling out. Usually you pull out, don't they?
You have a go. It's so fiddly.
So, with the, you know, with the bangs in the night, concerned about?
Yeah.
And we
Latest
thought
thing.
you had a fudger in the...
Have a what?
A what? A fudger?
What's a fudger? What's that?
What?
I don't think you should really answer.
The name of someone who lives in a fubber. A fubber.
I think a fudger is something completely different.
Oh, is it?
I believe so.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway.
So I don't know what fudger means, but a fubber is someone who lives in your attic.
Yes, no, I don't think that's the case. Although it could be.
Did you see that documentary?
No.
About the fubbers?
No.
Meet the fubbers. They live in your attic. And between your walls, and then they stare into your bathroom.
No, don't say that. You give me the
whatever.
heebie-jeebies. But that's what Coity's got living in his house.
You know, I woke up. I was in the middle of the night. And I thought, God, I'm really sore. I couldn't understand what it was. This morning, yesterday morning, 3 large scratches. One across there, one across there, one across there.
Coity.
I may even show you later. And then and they were far apart. It was like just right. And I'm like...
Did you tell your wife off for that? Or?
Well, I think she was telling me off. I think it's probably the reason I've got them. I have no idea.
It might be a werewolf.
But seriously, I was thinking, is it the ghost of Dudley has waking me up for something?
Poltergeist.
But that's it. 1, 2, 3, and they were far apart. And it wasn't...
The ghost of Dudley.
Yes. But
Kruger, isn't
it sounds very Kruger-esque, doesn't it?
Maybe he's living in the attic.
I think so. So there's someone with very long fingernails living in my attic.
Do you know that 50% of people polled, there's a story in the papers today, carry garlic with them to fend off things like vampires?
No, you're having a laugh. No, they don't.
What, they just carry them there?
50% of people do not carry garlic around.
51% of people carry
you're making
garlic.
that one up.
OK.
I'm afraid.
A minute, go on, keep...
Yeah, go on.
A minute.
Go on.
Superstitious Brits carry garlic to protect themselves from vampires and sprinkle salt around their doorways to ward off evil spirits.
No, they don't. 51% of people. No chance. You're having a laugh.
It's in the paper. It must be real.
51% of chefs, isn't it?
They're pulling your leg. No.
French chefs at that.
Yes.
Well, if you're one of those people, let us know. gbnews.com/.
I'm going to sleep with garlic after this.
I think you need to.
I'm going to show you later. You'll scare the life out of you.
Put some salt around your attic.
I will.
We're going to... Actually, you're quite right. It is off-putting looking up and thinking...
It's not 8 o'clock.
It's 8:05 already.
It's not. It's 7:05. I've just changed my watch. You'll be glad to know.
Oh, well done.
Good morning to you anyway. So we're talking about this story, which is front page of the papers today. And it says billions of pounds wasted on hotels for migrants. Not millions, billions, OK?
And that's your money, by the way.
Let's talk to James Rempton, who's in the studio now, about this one. And how did all this come to light then, James?
Well, there's an MP's report that is exposing this absolutely shocking waste that's happened. The spending on migrants' hotels seems to have gone completely out of control. As you just said, it's gone from 4.5 billion a decade ago to now 15.3 billion. And perhaps the most...
massive.
It is a massive amount. And you think the The Chancellor's having real problems about how to balance the books for the budget next month.
But she should start looking at the books.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
But just when you think things can't get worse for this government, this happens. In 2006, John Reid, who was then the new Labour Home Secretary, said the Home Office is not fit for purpose. And 19 years later, you think nothing has changed. This report says the Home Office is not up to the challenge.
Yeah.
If people are saying the destruction of the East Wing at the White House is emblematic of the wrecking ball presidency of Donald Trump, the manifest failures of this government over immigration are equally symbolic of its catastrophic conduct at the moment. It seems it can't do right for doing wrong.
And they can't get the basics right. I mean, looking at this report, they have allowed 10-year contracts, the cost to triple, and then money that they're owed, I think it's 46 million or something, they're not even collecting.
No, that is really shocking. You think we hear every single day from the Chancellor and other members of the government what a financial crisis they're in, and there's just money being sluiced out of the door here.
Squandered.
Without people noticing. I mean, to use an analogy I saw last week, 60% of water is lost through the old Victorian pipe system. There are ways of patching that up. The same at the Home Office. There are ways of bringing in auditors and accountants and really nailing down these wastes and saying, as you pointed out quite rightly, Ellie, this is our money. We need to find a way of clawing it back, or they won't be able to say, oh, the coffers are empty, there are moths in our wallet, because they're just squandering so much of our money.
How can this be fixed, if at all? Because, I mean, we always hear, don't we, about how they're closing migrant hotels. There's talk of using military bases. There's talk of using HMOs, houses of multiple occupancy. I mean, that's not going to go down well with British people either. They don't want to see their local military base being used to house asylum seekers, and they certainly don't want people in their flat down the road.
No, I would not say this is easy. I mean, they've always said that being Home Secretary is the most difficult job in government. Whatever you do, you get flack from either side. But this is the most incendiary and important issue in politics at the moment. It's why Labour is hemorrhaging votes to reform in the polls. If these polls are right, if there were a general election today, they would lose hundreds of seats to reform. The 180 majority they had just last year would be wiped out, and Nigel Farage
I tell you what should be wiped out. Our political system, the way things are done and run, if the Home Secretary is doing something, she should go round to the Home Office and say, show me the books here. Where are you spending money? How's this being done? Because we really need to be accountable. There's no point saying to us, we've got to create wealth in this country, by which they mean taxing, because they can't think of anything else. But when this goes on, this sort of spending goes on, it's absolutely catastrophic.
And the Chancellor's in Saudi Arabia today, isn't she, looking for growth abroad?
Yeah,
well, you could start here. Look at our books.
Yeah, that's true. There is an argument that the Home Office is out of control because it's too massive. It has 51,000 employees. It spends 23 billion a year, most of it on migrant hotels, it seems. But somebody in the Mail is suggesting split it into two departments, one that looks after border control and immigration, and another that looks after police, crime and counter-terrorism. Then, if it was two departments, you might have more ability to get a grip on the finances, because at the moment, this behemoth is just spiralling out of control, and there's no way of staunching the floods of money that are cascading out of the Home Office coffers.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Why do we do it? Why do we put up with it? Why do we agree to all of this? Why do successive governments get off with all of this? James, really appreciate your input, your take on things this morning.
Thanks, James.
Thank you very much indeed. And if you want to have your say on this, please do get in touch.
Lots of you doing so. Alan says it's pointless to just move the problems and start to take up our housing stock. Bruce says the Home Office is in a total state. Hot air from Mahmood, who said that this is fixable. The whole lot needs sweeping up and replacing. Give me strength. Mike says, Eamonn, too right. Starmer is a joke and Labour is failing everybody in this country. We were also talking, weren't we, in the 6 o'clock about Christmas, and you were asking if people were worried about Christmas.
Like how people could afford it.
Dale's been in touch saying Christmas is cancelled this year for me. I'm a veteran and I'm struggling like so many of us. Brings it home, doesn't it? People are really, really suffering.
Talking about homes, Prince Andrew is now looking for two.
He is, yes. One
Yes.
for him and one for his ex-wife.
Yeah, and how's he going to get those? Let's talk to Richard Palmer, royal biographer on all of this. Richard, so what is the game here? What is the deal here?
Morning. Well, there's a story in The Sun this morning that the Prince Andrew is saying he's happy to leave Royal Lodge, but only if he can have one house and Fergie, his ex-wife, can have another. For many years now, they've been sharing Royal Lodge, living at opposite ends of the house. He's, according to The Sun, saying he's happy to move into Frogmore Cottage, which used to be Harry and Meghan's place, while Fergie could move into Adelaide Cottage, which William and Kate are about to move out of because they're about to move into a place called Forest Lodge on the Crown Estate land, fairly nearby.
And
so I was going to say this would mean that Andrew and Fergie would then be back on the Windsor Castle estate, on the taxpayer-funded Windsor Castle estate. And I guess that raises questions in people's minds. Do they want ex-working royals living on that publicly owned estate? But I can see the arguments for them being on the Windsor estate, on the what's called Home Park, the grounds of Windsor Castle, effectively, because then they're within the security perimeter. So Andrew doesn't have to find the money to pay for his own security because he's covered by the protection for the royal family.
Questions as well about the funding of Fergie at this point. I mean, as you say, they once shared, or they have been sharing Royal Lodge, haven't they? Because it's a great big house. But would they continue to fund Fergie in her own property, bearing in mind they've been divorced 30 years?
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
why? Would you fund her in? You know, I think she's a perfectly nice woman and whatever. But
she's not a working royal, and they've been divorced 30 years.
Is that my job and your job and everybody listening and watching? Is that their job, Richard, to fund Sarah Ferguson?
Well, I would say not, because she was given a divorce settlement many, many years ago. And I know she has argued from time to time that it wasn't a very generous settlement, but she's been bailed out so many times. I think her critics would say, as you are really, why does the king need to bail her out again? She's just sold a townhouse in Belgravia for a considerable amount of money, more than £3 million, 3.85 million, I seem to remember. So she's got money. The controversy will continue, I fear, over this. There is no easy answer for the king in solving this problem.
Richard, appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Richard Palmer is a royal commentator, and Marco Patenga is a weather person of great esteem, and here he is with your forecast for today.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good morning. Here's your latest weather update from the Met Office for GB News. During the wet day today, we'll see a mixture of sunshine and blustery showers across the UK. Those showers gradually starting to ease from the west, although at the expense of some rain arriving across Northern Ireland during the afternoon. So back to the detail for today, and we've got quite a keen northerly breeze blowing across the UK during the morning. Plenty of showers feeding down in that northerly breeze. As I say, the showers are starting to ease from the west into the afternoon, so mostly confined towards the north of Scotland and down the eastern counties of England as we go into the afternoon. And then later in the day, outbreaks of rain do reach Northern Ireland, certainly by the early evening. Temperatures generally on the chilly side towards the north still at around about 8 or 9 degrees, peaking at 13 or 14 down towards the south and southwest. As we go into the latter stages of the day, we hold on to quite a few showers across the northeast of Scotland. Still quite a brisk breeze blowing here, but notice out towards the west and southwest, those outbreaks of rain starting to push in from off the Atlantic, and certainly a wet end of the day across Northern Ireland with some heavy bursts of rain in places here. Some rain also pushing across the Irish Sea into West Wales and westernmost counties of England, but elsewhere across central, southern and eastern parts of England, it's a fine end to the day with fairly clear skies in places. As we go into the evening, though, and through the overnight period, it will turn more unsettled across all parts. Those outbreaks of rain pushing east and south-eastwards across all areas, so a pretty unsettled night to come. And we'll see some snow across the high ground in Scotland. Cold enough here for a touch of frost as well by Tuesday morning. We'll see temperatures in rural spots down close to freezing, but holding up near at 9 or 10 degrees, so relatively mild there down towards the south and southwest of the UK. As for Tuesday, well, another unsettled day's in store. Low pressure dominating, giving further showers or longer spells of rain. I think the best of any sunshine between those showers will be down across parts of England and Wales, whereas again towards the north there, certainly across the highest ground in Scotland, still a bit of a wintry flavour to some of those outbreaks of rain with some snow across the mountains. Temperatures still quite chilly for the time of year, peaking at around about 7 to 10 in the north, up to 14 or 15 down towards the south. That's into the upper 50s in Fahrenheit.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Jeremy Clarkson, who I do enjoy watching on his various programmes, even if you're not interested in cars, for instance, or farms, he's still very, very entertaining.
He's very entertaining.
But is he entertaining here, or is he being serious? And he's talking about litter, right? And people who cause litter, this is a personal gripe
Bugbear of yours, yeah.
It absolutely is. And I think if the countryside is dirty, if everything's dirty, then we have low self-esteem about where we live and what we do, and we just feel worse about our environment. And I think something should be done about it. Not necessarily that it's the state's problem, but people should pick up their litter. They should never throw it in the first place. But anyway, Clarkson's very interesting. He's saying that litterers should be shot.
Oh.
Yeah. He said he didn't believe in the death penalty, but he would make an exception for lazy litter louts.
OK. And would you agree with him?
Yes. I told you I went down the A12 the other day, and I looked at this and I thought, whoever created this mess, this dirt here, as I was going into Leon-C, should have been shot. But who does it? Who does it anyway?
Dirty people.
But you bet you never sit in the car and you're tempted to throw a box of chips out the window or anything.
No.
But there are
I mean, raised right if you are littering. Anyway, let us know. Do you think litterers should be shot, like Jeremy Clarkson, Eamonn Holmes? gbnews.com/.
Well, I didn't say it. I'm only reporting what he said. But anyway,
you do agree.
I wouldn't take much persuading.
Yeah.
Here is the biggest prize we've ever given away in the Great British Giveaway.
There's 4 days remaining to see how you could be our biggest winner this year with a prize worth over £104,000. First, you could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. Worth over £74,000, this luxury vehicle comfortably sleeps 4, has its own fitted kitchen and bathroom areas, and comes complete with fitted awning and bicycle rack. And that's not all, as we'll also give you a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. Someone is guaranteed to win our biggest prize to date. But hurry, get your entry in now. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes,
Miss Ellie has a question for you, which is?
How much would you pay to keep up a friendship? Well, apparently people are spending thousands of pounds keeping up their friendship every single year. And men are spending the most.
Yes, exactly. Women spend less on maintaining friendships than men.
We're going to be debating that next.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is...
You're
the failure is...
deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power?
Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber.
Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics.
We'll see where this ruling takes us.
These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised. I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Okay, so here's the question. How much would you pay to maintain a friendship? Okay, because this is a new survey that's found on average women think they spend about £2,500, £2,414 to be exact, whilst men typically said they spend how much?
Almost £3,000 a year.
Okay, so we were sitting here in the studio talking about, well, would you spend £3,000 on one person, or how would you do that? And we reckon that by the time you take into account
Christmas, birthdays, your meals out, your travel,
yeah, all
would
this.
add up, wouldn't it?
Jamie Hensley joins us now, and showbiz reporter Sarah Robertson joins us as well. Do you think, Sarah, you spend less than male counterparts on keeping friendships alive?
Hi there, Eamonn and Ellie. No, I don't. I think I spend a lot more. It's actually scared me when I started adding up, just this year alone, going to birthday parties, weddings, celebrations. My friends are now having divorce parties, would you believe? Which I have to say I resent, because I think all the money, Eamonn and Ellie, that I've spent on going to people's weddings, especially abroad, which is the fashion. I know, Ellie, you've just got married abroad, and it runs into, you know, thousands of pounds when you're factoring in a holiday as well, and a new outfit.
Jimmy, you think it's money well spent?
Well, I think, look, at the minute, I think friendships are the most important thing we have to invigorate our lives. The world is such a place at the minute where we're told to just get on, taxes are high, price of living is high. Things that actually invigorate your life. I've got to say, if it's not building to your life, get rid of it. Now, I think friendships and building those relationships are. We can't get away from the fact that life is expensive. We were just talking yesterday, I drove to Norfolk from London, cost me petrol money, had to see my friend, didn't have to, wanted to see my friend whose birthday it was, £100 for a Sunday pub lunch. That's my monthly allowance if you reduce it over the year, done by one friend, one Sunday.
Right, but say that person then lets you down and the friendship ends. Do you think what a waste of time that was?
Well, no, because it's in the moment, in the time. They were invigorating my life. They were putting something into my life, and it was worth it. Look, I'm a human being. I can say no if I don't want to do it. I think it depends on how much you like the friend.
So you would say good investment.
A good investment.
Investing in your friend.
And if people, life's going to let you down, you can't always prepare for the worst. I think we have such a thing of going, I won't spend it because I could do it. If it's what you want to do in the moment, spend it. Spend the money on what you want. Live for now.
And Sarah, have you invested well, do you think, in your friends?
I think in some friends, yes, and then in other friendships, I look back now and I think actually maybe I've been a little bit let down. You know, I've blown a fortune attending their life events, yet they haven't been able to jump a puddle for me. So there you go. But, you know, you live and learn, don't you, in life. I think what happens is there's a very interesting relationship that exists between spending and mental health. And they do say, you know, when we're caught in the moment, as Jamie says, you know, we end up overspending because we don't want to miss out on what we see as that good time. It's almost peer pressure. You're with your group of friends. They might be, you know, doing financially better than you. They're ordering expensive cocktails. You feel like you're in the moment. You go along with it. Then the next day, you glimpse at your credit card statement and your bank account. You think, oh, my goodness, I've way overspent, and yeah, it was fun, but actually the long-term repercussions of that on my financial health, is it really worth it, you know, just for the sake of a few hours of novelty, of fun factor, when actually I'm feeling more anxiety over my financial health than looking back and thinking, oh yeah, I had a good time that night. I don't know. You have to look at those things.
Jamie was talking about, you know, buying coffees for people and things. But Jamie and Sarah, do you actually invest in? I mean, do you buy people candles, flowers?
Yes.
I don't know what else you would do. You definitely do that.
Yeah,
is that maybe more a woman thing than a man thing?
Definitely.
I think it's more a woman thing, yeah. And I think I don't buy things or spend things on people to get something back in return. I do it because I love them and I'm a generous person. That's part of my showing love and showing my time, you know, with them and sharing that and showing them that I care. So yeah, I don't do it to get a return. That's me investing in my friendship and because I genuinely care about those people. So that's why I do it.
But balance is really important, isn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, and you have to have balance, and you have to have a good. I'm very lucky that I can speak on. I've got a good friendship base. Yeah. Now, we were saying the anxiety behind it. Now, I think you should be able to have a good friendship group that if you cannot afford it in that moment, we've all been there. Like sometimes work comes in and out, and you've got bills one month that isn't able to give you the freedom to have a social life. You should be able to, without the anxiety, say to your friends, I love you, I just can't afford it, but please go and have a good time. I think there's also on the other coin of it that people maybe aren't going through a good time financially, then also get the hump quite a lot of this. I'm having to spend this. OK, it's just not what you can do right now. But also the difference between men and women, I think what we're looking at, the difference in the studies there, is I think women are a lot more open to just going around and having a girly chat with a small bottle of fizz and stuff like that. The male kind of thing is we go to football matches, not me, obviously, football matches. There's not so much a social...
You may be a cheap friend to have.
For groups of guys
may be good to have.
They go to football matches.
And it's pubs and slamming pints.
It's always, you never really see the boys round on the weekend watching Strictly, do you? So
no.
It's a good point.
It's a very different
point.
dynamic for people.
All right, Sarah, Jamie, really good to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
That was fun.
And you get people talking and what they invest in their friends.
I spend a fortune on my friends. I mean, it's a good investment. I'm with you. I'm very generous by nature, and I'd always take them out for afternoon tea and get them nice presents and stuff. But sometimes I do think, and I don't always get it back. You don't do it for that reason. No. But you do think,
Time is a valuable commodity. As long as investing the time back, if I don't get it financially, but time-wise...
Time is very valuable, which is why we've got to move on. Yeah. We've got to that time of the day. Thank you very much indeed, Jamie. Right, lots of Premier League games yesterday. We're going to talk about the goals, who won what, with Paul next.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Significant congestion affects the M4 eastbound from junction 28 Tredegar Park to junction 26 Malpas. A collision on the M6 northbound in Lancashire between junctions 27 and 28 has closed 2 lanes, causing 1-hour delays, clearing by 8:15. The M62 eastbound in Kirklees has multiple cars closing 2 lanes, expected to resolve between 8:45 and 9. The A27 eastbound in Brighton is completely closed due to road management issues, and on the trains, Elna faces disruption between Leeds and York. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Last time around, we were on the brink of screening you a Sheffield Wednesday viral video, but it didn't happen. Paul, ready to go again?
We'll give it another go.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday got into receivership, as we know, on Friday. Dejan Chansiri, who is the owner, treated the club so badly, and everybody you speak to around the club just absolutely hated this man. So now the fact they've gone into receivership means they've got a 9-point deduction, but they don't care because at least someone can now buy the club and give the club some love that it deserves. Now, before the game on Saturday where they played Oxford, now this was on the big screen, and I thought this was inspired. Have a look at this. Now, there's the big screen.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it says, I can read it to you, it says a problem has been detected at your club and has stopped to prevent further damage. So it's done like there's a virus in a computer.
Yeah.
It says initialising system scan to identify error. And then it says Chansiri, who was the old owner, .exe. And then it says scanning. And it says an error has been detected with the following file, and then it says removal successfully completed. There's a big cheer, so it's done like if there was a problem with the computer, and then it says contacting administrator to begin recovery.
So people are really happy he has gone.
They are incredibly happy, and anybody I've spoken to around the club, old players for the club, you say, look, what do you think of this guy? And they go, honestly, I couldn't even begin to tell you because he's driven it into the ground. So now, the fact that he's gone into an administration, and although it sounds really worrying, it's the best thing for a great club like Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, they can build
so
up
hopefully
from here.
someone will come in and buy it,
Well,
and then they can go back to where they should be. Wednesday.
Now, that's a good feeling for Sheffield Wednesday supporters, and good luck to you, right?
Yeah.
Good. Here is not a good feeling that we're going to talk about. I can think of nothing awful. So you think in your bare feet, right? And you're walking across the carpet or whatever. One of the worst things you could choose to stand on would be?
Well, it's Lego. Kids' toys.
Lego.
There's a new world record which has been set. Running 100 metres on Lego.
No.
24.75 seconds in bare feet. Have a look at this. I think we can see this.
You would have to go fast, wouldn't you, to avoid the pain? Oh, my word.
Running, so a whole lot of broken Lego the way along the 100 metres.
That's gotta hurt.
And running.
She's not even wincing.
She's not wincing, is she? Because, you know why? Because she thinks she sees the world record ahead of her. The pain has gone out of it. I mean, a little slip on there. Why would you do that?
What would compel you?
I don't know.
Well, she's obviously used to it. She's mum of two, isn't she? There'll be a lot of Lego in her house.
I can imagine.
But why would there be a Guinness World status for that, or record? Why does that
It's a record for anything.
You're right, there is. This is what really annoys me. The old days of Ross McWhirter, do you remember on Record Breakers? And he'd sit there and they'd ask him a question. Can you tell me, Norris or... No, it was Ross and Norris, wasn't it? And of course, Norris was the one that lasted longer and lived longer, but he was always asked questions. Tell me what's the biggest bridge, and he would know it off the top of his head.
Of course there would.
But now there's millions. You could just make up a record and say, I want to be the person that, you know, throws my glasses up in the air 20 times and catch it. And they'd go, OK, well, nobody's done it, and they'll put it in.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace is what it is. It's not what it used to be.
Yannick Sinner.
Yeah, let's have a look at Yannick Sinner, shall we? Won the Vienna Open yesterday. God, he is some player, Yannick Sinner. Beat Alexander Zverev 3-6, 6-3, 7-5. 21 consecutive matches on indoor hard courts he's won. 22 tour titles. And he is some player, heading towards the Australian Open that begins in January.
Do you know where I was last night? I drove past Wimbledon Tennis Club.
Yeah.
Right? The All England Club. And I just noticed, how on earth do they maintain that or make money from that? Because the actual grass court tournament only lasts 2 weeks a year. And then that's it.
But it generates millions. I mean, the money that just those 2 weeks.
The souvenir shop was still open.
Yeah, that'll make a few quid as well. Have you seen the price of those towels? Seriously, have you seen the price of those towels?
46 quid or something.
Honestly, really? Yeah, but it is very expensive. But they do, and they still play on the outdoor courts because members can do that.
Yeah.
But nobody can play on the centre court until for only those 2 weeks.
And then I saw a sign saying there was a spa or a gym or something.
That sounds nice.
Across the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they obviously...
Could you join and then we could go and play?
I thought you were a member.
Of Wimbledon?
Yeah.
Oh, chances, can you imagine?
Oh, well, come on then, get a membership.
Yeah, you can sort that out.
And we can all go.
I got one more thing I want to mention.
The football.
Yeah, now this is... The Rockefeller said the World Cup, which has been in America, right? World Cup, which is in America. The Rockefeller Centre, have a look at that, was announced at the fan park. They announced the fan park for the World Cup. There's a guy called Eb Kelly, and he was asked... He's one of these people that obviously knows nothing about football whatsoever. The difference between, well, have a look, American football and proper football. This is his answer. Here we go.
We are going to be putting on the game that the entire world is going to be watching, right? If football is America's sport, football is the world's sport.
Sorry, what?
Football is America's sport. Football is the world's sport.
Oh, that's rubbish.
Haven't got a clue.
What is he talking about?
I have no idea. He's trying to...
Anything they touch, you know, to do with our national sport.
That's what they call it over there. Football.
Well, at least he's not calling it soccer. It could be worse.
They won't be happy till we're playing league games in the States. That's what they want.
We won't allow it.
English league games. There we go.
We won't allow it.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Thanks,
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Ellie.
It's still to come. What have we got?
Patients are fleeing the NHS for care elsewhere. We're going to tell you more about that next in the papers with Biggins and Dawn Neeson.
Back after this.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello, here's your latest holiday sun forecast brought to you by the Met Office. Western parts of the Med are set to see some thundery showers over the next few days, but mostly fine further east. So on Tuesday, the Canaries look fine, but across Madeira and certainly parts of Portugal, some heavy outbreaks of rain developing at times. The central part of the Med not looking too bad, isolated showers, some fairly warm sunshine. Some warm sunshine in the east too, but also some thundery showers. And over the next few days, we hold on to thundery showers in the west, mostly fine though the further east you go.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
I thought I'd heard everything in terms of council insanity, but charging people £1,000 to park on their own driveway, this takes the biscuit.
I think, firstly, the amount that they are charging is a huge amount for parking on your own drive, but equally, that sheer amount and the threat of court action causes a lot of anguish and grief, especially to the older people, to vulnerable, to disabled people that I've all come across have had this. And to make it even worse, the council has not actually ever once collected the £1,000 fine. So they're sending letters out, threatening a £1,000 fine, and they've never, ever actually collected that fine. It just causes complete unnecessary misery for people.
Well, that's the definition of insanity. So to threaten a £1,000 fine but not actually collect the fine. So what's the point?
I don't know what the point. There is a bit of a possible conflict of interest because the people sending out the letter are Balfour BT, who subcontract the roads for Southampton Council, and obviously they also will install drop curbs.
Funny that. So what's happening here is you get a £1,000 threat through the post, and by the way, if you want to avoid that, simply come to the council. And by the way, we can install one of these drop curbs in for you at a handsome price of £800. £800 to get a curb in outside your house when you don't need it. You can go up a normal curb as it is. And I put it to you, every Englishman's home is his castle. This is the violation of that.
Well, we've had cases where people are in council homes and they've been there for 40 years. They've been parking on their drive for 40 years, and suddenly they get a letter saying, sorry, £1,000 fine.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave. I'm so surprised. I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
We welcome back Dawn Neeson and Chris Biggins for their look at the papers. And it's a front page headline in the Metro, and it's also in the Express. And this is, Christopher, the Health Secretary Wes Streeting talking about business rate hikes in America. What's he saying?
Well, what it's saying is that the government want to put up the business rate to all supermarkets in town, and it means that all the supermarket heads, the CEOs, have written or spoken to her saying that if you do that, then the price of every item of food will go up.
Which is already extortionate.
Which is extortionate, absolutely, at the moment. What it would be like when they put the tax on is ridiculous. And I don't think the government or anybody thinks about, I mean,
consequences.
No, and what the Labour has done to the Labour voters is appalling. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're hitting that Labour voter who put them in really, really badly.
I can't stand this phrase. Those with the broader shoulders should pay more, whatever. But as you say, if you're affecting prices in supermarkets, you're affecting everybody's shoulders.
Everybody. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. I mean, you know, now the food banks will go mad because they'll have to provide food to the people. I mean, surely it makes sense that everybody has to eat and drink something.
It's just basics, isn't it? Basics.
You know, it's basics, exactly. And this is taxing that is just appalling.
Well, this is candid, isn't it, from the Health Secretary saying just 15 months into power, he understands there's a growing sense of despair. With this government.
Yeah, there's also a growing division within the Labour Party about what to do about the budget that's coming up. There are so many divided opinions from the left of the party, the centre to the right of the party. But that story links into the story on the front page of the Times as well. Economic nightmare costs women more sleep than men. It's a new study and it's found that 29% increase in the gap between men and women's economic well-being in the past 12 months since this government has been in power. And women, interestingly, are less likely to switch allegiance politically. So, you know, they are more likely to vote Labour still than men. Yeah. But they're the ones that are suffering. They're the ones that are going to the supermarket. They're the ones that financially the burden is on their shoulders.
Yeah. And just tying that in with the election of Lucy Powell as the Deputy Labour leader at the weekend, what about the difference between her and Keir Starmer? I mean, you know him. He blows with the wind. He goes left, right, whatever. And he said, oh, Lucy, we'll get straight down to business. We'll do this. I mean, he sacked her 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Right. So what is the difference there? Her speech was actually very good from the point of view it was natural. His are never natural. What did you think of her?
I think she was not his choice for that particular role. Let's be honest there. She's Angela Rayner, but not as left-wing as Angela Rayner. And to be honest with you, her speech, as you said, Eamonn, it was quite natural, but it was also giving her boss a bit of a kicking in a subtle way.
And she had a smile on her face
as
she was doing it.
Yeah.
She loved it.
I mean, literally, she was saying, like, literally, there's too much obsessing about Nigel Farage and right-wing politics. We're going too far to the right, immigration, da-da-da-da. Everything that Keir Starmer is edging towards. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how those two work together, if that's possible.
Yeah, definitely will be. Biggins, let's have a look at money boxes, shall we, in the Daily Mirror?
Well, local councils are taking it really badly, the fact they've got no money. Yeah. They've been cut back.
They think we have endless supplies of money, all of us. They think, you know, anyone can afford a £40 fine or an £80 fine or whatever. No, they can't.
No, we can't. Exactly. We've got 3 fines which we're fighting at the moment. I mean, we have a parking thing to park in our area, and we parked in the zone which is supposed to, and they gave us a ticket. And now it's all the writing you have to do, that explaining is just appalling. But anyway, this is what's happening, that there's a terrible situation where they've got these what do we call them? They're box junctions.
Yellow box junctions.
The yellow boxes, and they've got them, and they're very thin, and they're in the whole year that they've been there, £450,000 they've earned from these boxes.
Well, they're doing all right out of that.
Yeah, but fining us, the innocent driver who hasn't...
Well, it's stealing.
It is stealing. It is stealing, but they need to do it...
And the money's always going to be there.
It's all...
Your box, incidentally.
I'm dressed as the yellow box junction today.
You can't park on here, on her anywhere.
Cheerful. I'm doing it because the clocks went forward. It's got, you know, we've got long, dark, cold afternoons now, so I thought I'd be cheerful. No, not working.
Well, you're bringing the sunshine.
I'm bringing the sunshine. Thank you very much, Ellie. Team girl.
Dawn, are other people going to look for the sunshine and seeking medical treatment abroad?
Yes, this is another frightening story of where we are today. This is on the front page of your Telegraph today. Record number of patients are seeking treatment abroad to avoid long waiting lists.
The pressure, if you can take pressure off the NHS, I think great.
Is it safe?
And it's reversed. Well, what about that? I don't really care if it's safe or not. You just stop people doing things in our hospitals. So all this lot arrive over, no matter what abroad, anyone says these health tourists arrive.
Yeah, we have that.
And they get everything done that they want. Believe me, I've spent my life in hospitals over the last 5, 6, 7 years, and what you see, you just wouldn't believe it, you know. And more people are saying, we will just pay for our own health.
Yeah, but the point is we shouldn't. I mean, this is the thing. We have a National Health Service. We all contribute to the National Health Service. So we shouldn't. I mean, the waiting list is 7.41 million. It's had 25 billion pounds. Cash, yeah, but the thing is, you shouldn't have to go abroad, Eamonn.
But you have to, because everybody else from around the world is coming in to
But that
use
shouldn't
the
be the
health
case.
service.
That should be
But
stopped.
it's not going to change.
But
so
we've
just go
paid into
abroad.
the system our whole life.
Yeah, that should be stopped. And Ellie's point is very good. We have had people losing their lives for going abroad and
for cheap surgery.
When terrible accidents have happened.
Yeah.
But you get people losing their lives here as well. I mean, all this evens itself out. But what you're saying is, if you needed your teeth replaced, you wouldn't go to Turkey.
I would rather get it done on the NHS in the UK, where I have paid my taxes my entire working life, paid national insurance my entire working life, and I expect to be cared for over someone that's just got off a boat across the channel. I'm sorry.
I have to get a lot of health checks and things that goes on with my back and various things. And you sit there and then your phone goes with a message. Your appointment is on Friday, whatever. What appointment? What appointment?
Yeah.
So then you go and you phone them up and you can't get anybody, and you turn up and you say, sorry, I'm told to report for an appointment today at 11 o'clock. What's the appointment, or when was the appointment made? Oh, it was made in February. I swear, I'm not lying to you or anything. How am I expected to remember? They don't tell you what the appointment is for.
No.
They don't give you a contact number.
I think
it's rubbish. Go abroad.
No, I think medically the people that are working on the front line, the doctors and nurses in many cases, are absolutely brilliant. But the administration side of the way the NHS is run is a disaster.
No, but what I'm saying, take the pressure off the doctors who work in the front line and the nurses who work in the front line.
I think, though, you should be able to pay towards your national health if you want to, because I think it's ridiculous that we take everything for granted.
Do we not pay enough in our taxes?
Yeah, but then I think...
Biggins is volunteering. Biggins is coming up with a suggestion which says, look, it personally suits me, I've got a few quid, I can pay for this.
Exactly.
And that sorts me out. And then he's regarded to be a villain because he says that.
And also my knee operation, which I had, I think would have cost something like £4,000. And now I'd be very happy to pay £1,000
towards it.
So this is a system that works brilliantly in Germany and Australia
France
and places
too,
like that. Where you have a small if you can afford it, where you have a small private national insurance scheme as well that go with the national care. That works perfectly well there. If you dare suggest it in this country, you are saying that you want to privatise the NHS, and we can't touch the NHS. It's literally become a cult that we can't criticise.
But I gave up my health insurance because it was so hugely expensive.
So hugely expensive.
It's ridiculous.
And Wes Streeting himself has said the system needs altering, and Wes Streeting does have a point on that.
We can't keep providing endless health and unlimited health for everybody.
No.
Whether you like it or not.
No, you're right.
Cannot do it
No,
for
but the
every
people
person.
that live here should come first.
Yeah.
Right.
Dawn, can we talk about ghosts?
Yes, shall we? Let's.
Halloween week.
Woo!
Halloween is
Oh,
Friday.
it's this week, isn't it?
Friday is my big night out of the year, Ellie. 1 in 3. 1 in 3 of us say we believe in ghosts, and this is according to a study from several universities here and in America as well. And 1 in 3 of us believe in spooks and ghouls that are real, while 16% of those surveyed report going through a ghostly or extraordinary experience. Ellie, have you had a ghost experience?
I haven't personally, but I've heard of people very close to me who have, and I definitely believe in ghosts.
I'm sorry, but I loathe the television programmes which they say, right, we're going to find a ghost, and they use a celebrity to go there, and the celebrity reacts in the most ridiculous way. I do not believe it. They start screaming and shouting and throwing themselves on the floor because they're good actors.
But you've got a good ghostly voice. You could have a good creative ghostly voice.
You'd be very good.
You'd be good if you give us a...
That is really scary.
There's no laughing at it. Let's have a look at that.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good morning. Here's your latest weather update from the Met Office for GB News. During the wet day today, we'll see a mixture of sunshine and blustery showers across the UK. Those showers gradually starting to ease from the west, although at the expense of some rain arriving across Northern Ireland during the afternoon. So back to the detail for today, and we've got quite a keen northerly breeze blowing across the UK during the morning. Plenty of showers feeding down in that northerly breeze. As I say, the showers are starting to ease from the west into the afternoon, so mostly confined towards the north of Scotland and down eastern counties of England as we go into the afternoon. And then later in the day, outbreaks of rain do reach Northern Ireland, certainly by the early evening. Temperatures generally on the chilly side towards the north still at around about 8 or 9 degrees, peaking at 13 or 14 down towards the south and southwest. As we go into the latter stages of the day, we hold on to quite a few showers across the northeast of Scotland. Still quite a brisk breeze blowing here, but notice out towards the west and southwest, those outbreaks of rain starting to push in from off the Atlantic, and certainly a wet end to the day across Northern Ireland with some heavy bursts of rain in places here. Some rain also pushing across the Irish Sea into West Wales and westernmost counties of England, but elsewhere across central, southern and eastern parts of England, it's a fine end to the day with fairly clear skies in places. As we go into the evening though, and through the overnight period, it will turn more unsettled across all parts. For those outbreaks of rain pushing east and southeastwards across all areas, so a pretty unsettled night to come. And we'll see some snow across the higher ground in Scotland. Cold enough here for a touch of frost as well by Tuesday morning. We'll see temperatures in rural spots down close to freezing, but holding up near at 9 or 10 degrees, so relatively mild there down towards the south and southwest of the UK. As for Tuesday, well, another unsettled day is in store. Low pressure dominating, giving further showers or longer spells of rain. I think the best of any sunshine between those showers will be down across parts of England and Wales, whereas again towards the north there, certainly across the highest ground in Scotland, still a bit of a wintry flavour to some of those outbreaks of rain with some snow across the mountains. Temperatures still quite chilly for the time of year, peaking at around about 7 to 10 in the north, up to 14 or 15 down towards the south. That's into the upper 50s in Fahrenheit.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M6 northbound between junctions 27 and 28, a collision closes 2 of 3 lanes, causing 1-hour delays. The M62 eastbound faces a road incident with 2-hour delays. The A38 northbound near Burton-upon-Trent and the A12 between junctions 31 and 33 both face significant delays. In West Sussex, the M23 northbound entry slip at junction 9 has a broken down vehicle closing 1 lane. And on the trains, Great Western Railway and Elna experience disruptions. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
It's the final week to see how you can become our biggest winner this year. First, you could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxury vehicle comfortably sleeps 4, has its own fitted kitchen and bathroom areas, and comes complete with fitted awning and bicycle rack. And that's not all, as we'll also give you a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning to you. Billions of pounds of taxpayers' money squandered on asylum hotels.
A new report has found that a series of failures allowed the cost of 10-year asylum contracts to soar from £4.5 billion to £15.3 billion.
Yes, you heard that right, £15.3 billion. Also been revealed that the Home Office has failed to collect 46 million quid that it's owed.
David Lammy is facing backlash from prison governors as he orders them to carry out extra checks on every inmate that they release.
And Rachel Reeves leading a British delegation to Saudi Arabia as she searches for economic growth with less than a month to go to the budget. Good luck to her.
Prince Andrew will leave Royal Lodge if he can live at Frogmore Cottage. That's according to reports this morning. He's asked for 2 homes, one for himself and one for his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson.
In sport this morning, lots of Premier League games yesterday. Saw Arsenal win again 1-0 to stay top, and a very unhappy Wolves lose again to stay bottom. In Scotland, Hearts are now 5 points clear after beating Celtic, and Lando Norris wins the Mexico Grand Prix and leads the Drivers' Championship now with just four races to go.
Hello, good morning. We'll see sunny spells across the UK during the day today, with showers gradually easing from the west, but further rain does arrive in the far west then as we go into the afternoon. I'll have all the details later.
And could I just say a very good morning to you. Good to have you on board, whether you're watching us on television, online, or listening to us on radio. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. And we're going to start this hour with some live pictures now of President Trump arriving in Japan today for a state visit. That's Air Force One just landing on the runway there now. This is part of a week-long trip to Asia. And President Trump is set to meet with Emperor Naruhito today. He'll be heading to the Imperial Palace in Tokyo. And he's arrived from Kuala Lumpur, where you may have seen pictures of him at the weekend dancing on the runway. That very loud and joyful welcome in Kuala Lumpur. He really enjoyed that. So he will sign trade agreements with Malaysia, Cambodia and Thailand. He was busy doing that over the weekend. He's now in Japan, and tomorrow he's going to be meeting with the new Prime Minister of Japan, and the two of them should have a lot in common because she is a nation first, Japan first Prime Minister, quite Trumpian in her view.
Yeah, and a big fan of Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah,
I was hearing over the weekend.
So the two of them should get along very well. So there it is, President Trump there, landing in Japan as part of this week-long trip to Asia. He'll be meeting the Emperor today, heading to the palace today, and the Prime Minister tomorrow. Busy week for him.
And a busy time for the Shadow Business Secretary, who we can now join, Andrew Griffith. Andrew, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Andrew, we're here to talk about a number of things. I mean, obviously, you know, President Trump is there, he's signing business agreements, and you're worried. You have a problem with the unemployment bill that Labour are putting through the House. What is that problem?
Oh, well, good morning. It's a real damage to anybody. If you've got children in your family, young people, nieces, nephews, looking to try and get onto the job ladder, this bill could kill that stone dead. It's a bill that's written by the unions, imposes all sorts of legal employment complications when people are trying to get their first job. That's why over the weekend, 13 of the biggest business groups and even the left-leaning Resolution Foundation came out telling Labour to stop this bill.
So what you're saying is basically these provisions are costly, and when things cost companies money, it costs companies jobs.
Absolutely. They're going to have to lay people off to deal with some of the costs of administration. But most importantly, it will stop people hiring. It'll just chill their incentives to hire. When an employer hires somebody, it takes a risk on them. And if you can be hired in the morning and go immediately down to the employment tribunal, that lawfare, in the afternoon, there's already a backlog of nearly 500,000 individual claims. It'll just stop businesses hiring. And we need businesses to hire. That's how you grow the economy. It's how people get jobs. If you don't have a job, there's no workers' rights at all.
Rachel Reeves is in Saudi Arabia at the moment, looking for growth ahead of the budget next month. Are you supportive of that trip to Saudi Arabia? I mean, it is a country that has human rights concerns. Should we be strengthening our relationship with Saudi Arabia?
Well, she'll certainly find growth in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is just one of many countries whose GDP per capita, that is to say how prosperous all of the people in the country are, is going to overtake the UK. That is a tragedy. And it's not just Saudi Arabia, it's Poland at this rate. So I desperately hope she comes back with some really good ideas, not overtaxing people, not burdening people with red tape, a government that works rather than wastes money. All of those would be brilliant things for her to take back from Saudi Arabia. And yes, we should be trading with countries like that. And you know what she might also learn is what the power of having cheap, abundant energy is. She might come back and tell Ed Miliband to F off and stop destroying our own oil and gas reserves.
Oh, well, let's wait and see on that one.
Maybe have our own oil and gas reserves. That's a whole other story. I mean, it always gets me that the government talks about generating wealth, but what they mean is taxing. You know, they don't mean fracking, do they?
No, but they don't mean, removing red tape from business. Again, this bill that, I'm very strongly opposing, Conservatives are opposing in government, has got 330 pages, 120,000 words. She was talking nonsense last week. She'll probably be at it again today, talking about lightening the burden of business, cutting red tape. It's a complete travesty when at the same time they're introducing more regulators, more regulation, more red tape. That bill alone mentions unions 478 times. Right, it's an absolute nuts piece of bill. It doesn't speak to the challenge of growth that we've got. And when you hear about some bright young person who would desperately love a job but can't find an employer to take them on, this is why.
Well, no, it's not why. It's because the Home Office have got all the money and wasting all the money. The Mail today, their headline screaming, billions wasted on hotels for migrants. I mean, this is absolutely shocking, Andrew, that, it's MPs find this out. The Home Office doesn't volunteer this information. But we are talking about not millions, not hundreds of millions. We are talking about billions of pounds wasted on all of this. And we talk about the country has no money. No wonder the country has no money.
Absolutely. It's a disgusting waste of money. If people haven't been even collecting overpayments, that's maladministration. Heads should roll. Permanent secretary heads should roll. It's completely unacceptable. And, there's been plenty of reports that say the Home Office is not fit for purpose. This is yet another example.
But this is nothing new, is it, Mr. Griffith? This is nothing new. We're talking about 10-year contracts here. These would have happened under your watch. I mean, John Reid pointed this out back in 2006, the same very issues that we're discussing today. 19 years and nothing has changed.
Well, John Reid was one of very many Labour politicians who opposed us when we tried to introduce the Rwanda deterrent, something that's worked extremely effectively in other countries. Even the government is now coming back to the idea that the only successful way of stopping the flow is to have third country processing. He also opposed us, and many Labour lords and peers and bishops, when we tried to leave the ECHR. Again, the only way that you can adequately deal with this issue, without which we'll only ever be working downstream playing whack-a-mole with expensive accommodation, is to actually nip this problem at source, which the Conservatives tried. Yes, we didn't manage to achieve that in government. Our policy now is very clear. The deportation bill, leaving the ECHR, those are policies that we will implement. But right here and right now, the Select Committee's done a really good piece of work, and absolutely people must be held to account wherever they are for their role in wasting taxpayers' money.
I've got to ask you about Hadush Kabatu. He's the asylum seeker jailed for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl in Epping, mistakenly released from prison in Essex on Friday, and it took 48 hours to find him. What's your response to that story? And secondly, David Lammy now facing backlash from prison officers for ordering them to carry out extra checks now on inmates that they release. Are you supportive of those extra checks?
Well, look, let's see what the checks need to do, but I'm supportive of the Prime Minister sacking David Lammy rather than, as he did in the last reshuffle, promoting him. Everywhere he goes turns to chaos, whether it's giving away our sovereign territory when he was Foreign Secretary, or letting prisoners out, convicted criminals out of jail when he's Justice Minister. I mean, there's nothing that this man is doing for our country, and heads must roll at the most senior level.
Andrew, you must have smiled at the election of Lucy Powell as Deputy Leader. I mean, you talk about Starmer sacking people. He sacked her 2-3 weeks ago, and there she is in that very, very, very prominent position.
No, there's nothing to smile about Lucy Powell's election. This is somebody who, as a senior cabinet minister, when people raise legitimate concerns about rape grooming gangs, which have been suppressed for far too long, accused a colleague on a panel of talking about dog whistle politics. Absolutely not. The government, which clearly I want to replace as quickly as we possibly can, partly because of the damage they're doing to our borders, partly to the damage they're doing to our economy. Which particular one is sitting in which particular position, I'm afraid, is of no consequence to me. The Prime Minister has no backbone, and he needs to go as quickly as possible.
OK, and we need to go from you, Andrew, as President Trump's emerging from his aircraft in Japan. Thank you, Andrew Griffiths there. And there is President Trump.
Yeah, just heading down the steps there of Air Force One on the runway in Tokyo, arriving in Japan, where he's got a pretty packed schedule over the next 2 days. He's going to meet with Emperor Naruhito today, and then they're going to head very shortly afterwards to the Imperial Palace. He's just flown in from Kuala Lumpur, where you may have seen pictures over the weekend of him dancing along to that welcome that he had on the runway in Kuala Lumpur. It looked like he really enjoyed himself there, signing trade agreements with Malaysia, Cambodia and Thailand. That was in Kuala Lumpur. Now in Japan for meetings with not only the Emperor, but also tomorrow meeting with the new Prime Minister of Japan, who I think they should have a lot in common.
Well, a big boost for her, big high-profile boost for her.
Yeah.
Olivia Utley, our political correspondent, watching these pictures with us. He's always on the go, old Donald, isn't he?
He is always on the go. It's beginning to feel as though he's the only person in the world who is able to actually do anything, to get anything done on the global stage. We saw last week Keir Starmer host a meeting of European leaders to talk about what they could do to help Ukraine, and it got almost no coverage at all, whereas as soon as Donald Trump sneezes, the whole world's media is fascinated because he seems to be getting things done.
Yeah. The visibility is amazing. That's what he has there, and that's what Starmer's trying to do by going to a lot of events around the world as well. But you look at Pope John Paul II, he used to travel around the world and raise the whole profile of Catholicism just by being visible.
Well, exactly, and that's definitely what Donald Trump is trying to do. Keir Starmer, meanwhile, he's jetting off around the world today. He's off to Turkey. When Keir Starmer does it, it sometimes feels a little bit as though he's just trying to avoid some domestic problems back home, and there are plenty of domestic problems at home for him to be dealing with. Of course, there is still lots to be answered about the fallout from Hadush Kabatu escaping from prison. He has now been rearrested and is apparently going to be deported to Ethiopia this week. David Lammy, the Justice Secretary, is saying that he'd like to introduce more checks for prisoners before they are released. So I'd like there to be 3 pages to be read to prisoners before they are released so that this doesn't happen again. But
have they got the capacity for that?
Well, exactly. Prison leaders are saying that, no, they don't have the capacity for that. And obviously, there is a huge problem with overcrowding in prisons at the moment, and that would simply hold things up more. So poor David Lammy can't really win either way. It's a really, really tough day for him. He is also talking to the Parliamentary Labour Party about what went wrong at that catastrophic by-election in Care Philly, where Labour won just 11% of the vote in a seat that has been Labour's since its inception.
It's an absolute mess, isn't it? Can we talk about, speaking of which, can we talk about this migrant hotels? Billions of taxpayers' money has been lost to flawed hotel deals.
It's a really, really shocking report from the Home Office Affairs Select Committee chaired by Dame Karen Bradley, a Conservative MP, but that's a cross-party group of MPs who've put together this report showing that there is £46 million of taxpayer money which the Home Office simply hasn't recouped, hasn't asked to get back from some of these hotel chains. So if hotel chains make more than a 5% profit, they have to hand that profit back to the Home Office. Otherwise, obviously, there's a huge incentive for hotels to take migrants over any other guests. And three of these hotels have made well over 5% profit. They should have handed that money back to the Home Office. They haven't. Some of these claims date from over 6 years ago, and the Home Office just hasn't got it back. All they need to do is ask for that money back, and they could get it back, but they haven't done it. It is also shown in this report that some of these hotels, because they get to keep some of the profit from housing migrants, it's actually better for them. They make more money housing migrants.
They're lucrative deals, aren't they?
They're lucrative deals. On average, it costs £145 a night for the taxpayer to put up a migrant in a hotel. Now, that's quite astonishing because, you know, if we were to book a hotel around the country, any random hotel on any random date, chances are it would be less than £145. So the Home Office is getting worse deals for block booking hotels for migrants than you or I would get just in the public market. The Home Office is getting really, really bad deals and at the same time just isn't getting money back from these hotels, even when they are owed it. So this is a really, really shocking situation. And of course, the political football is going to be thrown all around the place. The Conservatives will blame Labour. Labour will blame the Conservatives because obviously this is a problem long in the making. And everyone is blaming the Home Office.
Well, on that thought, we'll leave it there for the moment. We'll speak to you again after 9 o'clock, Olivia. Thank you very much indeed. A new memorial honouring the LGBT plus armed forces community is being constructed, and this is at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire.
Well, the King joined the dedication event for the memorial at the National Memorial Arboretum. Up to 300 dignitaries and officials and members of the late Lord Etherton's family and some LGBT plus serving personnel and veterans are expected to attend the event.
OK, well, let's go to our reporter, Jack Carson, who is there, and he will tell you more.
Yeah, an important day for this community, the King being here later on today to dedicate this memorial because, of course, until January 2000, it was you would be banned from the military if you were openly lesbian, bisexual, gay. And Ed Hall, who joins us now, who's the chair of Fighting Pride, the charity, who's been wanting this for years and, of course, fighting for this and now opening it today. I mean, Ed, just give us a sense of your own background.
Yeah, good morning. I mean, I joined the Navy straight from school, and as you go back, over the period of the ban from '67 to 2000, lots of people joined the forces very, very young. I joined straight from school, and it was only after I had passed out of Britannia Royal Naval College and I went to a civilian university that I came out. And found myself in an impossible position because I was out to fellow students, but of course I couldn't say anything to the Navy. So I was in a very difficult position until I outed myself. And you'd expect then, and I think some people with a romantic history of the ban think that at that point you would have just been kicked out. No, I was taken away for a day and a half of aggressive interrogation in a police room, HMS Nelson in Portsmouth, determined to try and track down and investigate, find other gay members of the armed forces. And that went on for decades. I lost my career then, but there are people here today who served decades and were then kicked out with nothing.
And what was that like, just wanting to serve your country, do a duty, and being banned because of your sexuality?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just wanting to. There will be 100 veterans here today who did serve their country, who served in all the conflicts in living memory, but none of their service, none of the effectiveness of their time in the forces made any difference. If a letter was found or an email was found more recently, anything that suggested someone was LGBT and they would be kicked out on their ear. And don't forget, that also applied to straight people. If they were suspected of being gay, they were kicked out too.
And give us a sense of today. How much of a momentous occasion is it? Because we've got His Majesty the King coming later to officially dedicate this memorial. I mean that's quite something.
It's such a powerful and moving day. The King is the head of the armed forces, he's head of state, and this will be the first time, as I understand it, that he's ever attended an LGBT plus event. So for it to be an event recognising the dedication of the memorial for all the LGBT service people who fought for our country is an incredibly powerful moment. It's going to be a really moving morning for a lot of people.
And viewers on screen, we were able to see the memorial behind us. Tell us a bit about the design and why it is like it is.
It's so clever, and actually, as chair, I've had lots of opportunities to come up and see it while it was being installed, and I said no, I wanted to see it now when it's here in its full glory, and it's a stunning piece of artwork. Abraxas Academy, a collective of artists based in Norfolk, they won the competition to design it, and it's an opened letter, so it signifies. It's made up of words from Lord Etherton's report into what happened under the ban. These are things that people said or experienced, and it reflects the fact that the military police used to open people's letters to try and find out if they were gay. So one side of it is bright and shiny brass, the other side is dark. So it's got a kind of coming out from the dark moment, and I think today feels like we're coming out into the light.
Ed, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Chair of Fighting Pride there, of course. As we were saying, the King will be here a little bit later on to dedicate this memorial here at the National Memorial Arboretum.
Jack, thank you very much indeed. And Ed, thanks to Ed for telling his story there as well.
It's shocking, isn't it? It's
absolutely
recent
scandalous.
history. Yeah. That people were losing their jobs because of who they are.
But that man, Ed, apparently has written a book as well, just outlining his whole story about how...
I'd be fascinated to read that.
I think it'd be very good. I think it'd be very, very good.
Shocking.
Marco's got your weather picture. Let's see what it's going to be like for this day ahead.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good morning. Here's your latest weather update from the Met Office for GB News. During the wet day today, we'll see a mixture of sunshine and blustery showers across the UK. Those showers gradually starting to ease from the west, although at the expense of some rain arriving across Northern Ireland during the afternoon. So back to the detail for today, and we've got quite a keen northerly breeze blowing across the UK during the morning. Plenty of showers feeding down in that northerly breeze. As I say, the showers are starting to ease from the west into the afternoon, so mostly confined towards the north of Scotland and down the eastern counties of England as we go into the afternoon. And then later in the day, outbreaks of rain do reach Northern Ireland, certainly by the early evening. Temperatures generally on the chilly side towards the north still at around about 8 or 9 degrees, peaking at 13 or 14 down towards the south and southwest. As we go into the latter stages of the day, we hold on to quite a few showers across the northeast of Scotland. Still quite a brisk breeze blowing here, but notice out towards the west and southwest, those outbreaks of rain starting to push in from off the Atlantic, and certainly a wet end of the day across Northern Ireland with some heavy bursts of rain in places here. Some rain also pushing across the Irish Sea into West Wales and westernmost counties of England, but elsewhere across central, southern and eastern parts of England, it's a fine end to the day with fairly clear skies in places. As we go into the evening, though, and through the overnight period, it will turn more unsettled across all parts. For those outbreaks of rain pushing east and southeastwards across all areas, so a pretty unsettled night to come. And we'll see some snow across the high ground in Scotland. Cold enough here for a touch of frost as well by Tuesday morning. We'll see temperatures in rural spots down close to freezing, but holding up near at 9 or 10 degrees, so relatively mild there down towards the south and southwest of the UK. As for Tuesday, well, another unsettled day is in store. Low pressure dominating, giving further showers or longer spells of rain. I think the best of any sunshine between those showers will be down across parts of England and Wales, whereas again towards the north there, certainly across the highest ground in Scotland, still a bit of a wintry flavour to some of those outbreaks of rain with some snow across the mountains. Temperatures still quite chilly for the time of year, peaking at around about 7 to 10 in the north, up to 14 or 15 down towards the south. That's into the upper 50s in Fahrenheit.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Do stay with us. Still to come, the Justice Secretary David Lammy is facing backlash from prison governors. We're going to tell you more about that next.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show. It's not a bad brand. Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very, very easy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Dramatic scenes in a North London street as police move in to arrest members of an organised crime gang. Inside their vehicle, evidence of a multi-million-pound trade in phone theft. A large number of stolen smartphones are discovered, all wrapped in tinfoil to block any phone signal and prevent their owners tracing them. After a year-long investigation, Scotland Yard says it has now dismantled the criminal operation that they believe is responsible for smuggling more than 40,000 stolen smartphones over to China. Officers have now recovered thousands of stolen smartphones as their investigation continues. Many of the handsets stolen in street robberies end up in shops like this. Officers recovered multiple stolen phones and arrested 2 men on suspicion of money laundering after finding £40,000 in cash.
So my warning to people that are involved in this criminal enterprise, whether it be shop workers, the shopkeepers, or even the faceless enterprise businessmen who own multiple different venues, is that you may have felt like you were acting with impunity and that we weren't coming after you and we couldn't come after you, and that actually the crime pays. So if eventually we do come, then that's just a business loss. Is that we are coming after you. We are going to come and conduct warrants, not just in your business premises, but we will target you at home. We'll target you in your cars. Nowhere is safe to conduct criminal enterprise.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Now, the Justice Secretary making headlines this weekend for all the wrong reasons. David Lammy's facing a backlash from prison governors after ordering them to carry out extra checks on every inmate released to stop them being released unlawfully or irregularly or...
by accident.
Yeah.
Which is what we saw happen on Friday, didn't we, with Hadush Kabatu?
Yeah. So one source says the new checks could take as long as 45 minutes per prisoner, heaven forbid. So in response, Lammy highlighted the need for prison reform ahead of his parliamentary statement today.
We will be increasing our funding to probation. We will ensure that there are more prison places, 14,000 extra prison places over this next period. We have to continue to support our prison officers at this time, particularly against violent offenders in our prison. I will be making a full statement to Parliament tomorrow, and then of course we've got a sentencing bill going through Parliament which will also support the system and make the system stronger.
OK, let's talk to former Prisons Minister Anne Widdecombe, who joins us this morning. And I'm sure you've got a view on all of this. It's hard to see who is the villain and who's the hero in all of this. David Lammy's got a role to play, asking for increased checks from the prisoners, the prison governors. But yet it's their job. It's their job to make sure 250 prisoners aren't erroneously released in a year.
I suspect that a lot of this stems from the sheer complexity of calculating dates of release. It happened in my time, and we tightened up immediately and made sure that it was all clarified. But if you think what they have to do, they have to look at the original sentence, take off time spent on remand, calculate the normal automatic early release date, then recalculate that if it's a deportation case. So I'm not surprised that occasionally it goes wrong. It shouldn't go wrong to that extent. What appalled me about this particular case was not just the mistake itself, but it was the fact that the man was then left bewildered, adrift, not having been told where to go, nobody having checked that he would be able to get there, and he was supposed to be in an immigration detention centre awaiting deportation, not wandering around the country. That, to my mind, he even stood outside the prison for some time trying to get back in because he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and he was asking members of the public where he should go. I mean, he was wandering around the town, according to reports, for a good hour and a half. Yeah. And in terms of what actually happened and how he was released by mistake, what people are failing to try and understand here is this is a high-profile case. His name was well-known, his face was well-known, and he is a danger to society. I mean, the judge himself said that this man is at risk of reoffending, a danger to women and girls. How could he have been released by accident?
Well, as I say, I'm not so worried about the calculation as to when he was released. I'm much more worried about the fact that simple procedures were not in place for what he was to do next. There is no way, I mean, take my word for it, there is no way that a prisoner due to be deported should just be left outside the prison gates. He should have gone immediately. An arrangement should have been made immediately to have taken him to an immigration detention centre. That's where he should have been. That is the most shocking thing about this. Don't worry that somebody got something wrong on the calculus. What actually matters is that proper procedures for the safety of the public were not followed.
So let's just get this straight, what you're saying, Anne. Are you saying that prisons should step up to the mark on this and make sure they're doing things right, no matter what their staffing is like, for instance? I mean, this idea that it will take another 45 minutes, I mean, I find that just derisory, just laughable, risible, really, to hear them complaining about that. That is their job. They should be doing that per course.
Yes, of course they should be doing it. I mean, there isn't any doubt about that. And actually, it is better to release somebody too late and to pay compensation than to release them too early and put the public in danger. It is actually better to get it wrong in this case. Well, they did get it wrong, but it's actually better to get it wrong in normal cases than it is to put the public at risk.
OK, Anne Widdecombe, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that story with us this morning. Thank you.
Anne. The traffic situation out there, let's have a look.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M4 eastbound between Junction 28, Tredegar Park, and Junction 26, Malpass, there is significant congestion this morning. On the M6 northbound, an incident between junctions 27 and 28 in Lancashire has closed 2 of 3 lanes, with 2-hour delays expected until 9:15. On the M23 northbound at junction 9 in West Sussex, a collision has closed a lane, with traffic normalising by 9:45. And on the trains, there is disruption on cross-country routes between Bristol Parkway and Gloucester, and Great Western Railway services between Bristol Parkway and Swindon or Gloucester. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Do stay with us, still to come. Lots of Premier League games yesterday. Coitie's going to be here with all the sport and all the results next.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel. At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Now, time is ticking on your chance to win the biggest prize of the year in the Great British Giveaway. It's all over on Friday.
Is it?
Yes, you've got to get a wiggle on. Here's everything you need to know.
There's 4 days remaining to see how you could be our biggest winner this year with a prize worth over £104,000. First, you could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. Worth over £74,000, this luxury vehicle comfortably sleeps 4, has its own fitted kitchen and bathroom areas, and comes complete with fitted awning and bicycle rack. And that's not all, as we'll also give you a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. Someone is guaranteed to win our biggest prize to date. But hurry, get your entry in now. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Sports time now. Paul Coyte's here with us. Morning.
Good morning.
Lots of action yesterday in the Premier
I think
League.
we'll just do the top of the bottom.
Yeah.
Top. Arsenal. Beat Crystal Palace 1-0 to the Arsenal. Great goal from Eberechi Eze. So Arsenal are top, and I think
you said that quickly, so it hurt less.
I think they're going to win the title this year. I know it's early. Eamonn, Arsenal
for the title.
He thinks Liverpool, don't you?
Not now, surely.
Not now.
City.
Tottenham Hotspur? I think, unfortunately, maybe Arsenal.
I'm a bit worried about that too.
I think it's very generous of you to say so, though.
Well, we'll deal with it week by week.
Yeah.
See how it goes. At the bottom, Wolverhampton Wanderers. They stayed bottom. They lost to they're playing Burnley. It was almost like a 6-point game. So Burnley went 2-0 up.
Well, especially Burnley winning away from home.
Yeah, and then Wolves come back to 2-2. Then they lose 3-2 in the 95th minute. I want to show you something about how toxic it looks like it's getting at Molineux. Vitor Pereira, the manager, have a look at this, walks out towards the crowd to try. There he is. You see him there on the right-hand side. And he's tried the crowd shouting at him. He's being led away. No, I'm not having any of it. You know this is almost the beginning of the end when you start falling out with your own supporters.
Yeah, it's not nice.
It really isn't good. And the thing is, it's not helping. You know what? I know when your team is doing bad and you want to shout at them, but then it makes them more nervous. Then they're more likely to lose. It really is. It's just spiralling into disaster. So they're bottom. Wolves still haven't got a win. Darren Ferguson, Eamonn, Fergie Jr., has been fired from Peterborough United.
Long-standing connection there.
For the 4th time. Fourth time. I mean, has anybody been at a club as a manager 4 times? So sacked by Peterborough United. So they lost to Blackpool. So he was at Peterborough United 2007 to 2009. Then goes to Preston North End. Oh, let's get him back to Peterborough, back to the posh. 2011 to 2015. Then he gets fired. Doncaster Rovers for a few years. Then back to Peterborough United, gets fired. Then back again, Peterborough United, 23 to 2025, so he was fired yesterday. So they're looking for a new manager. How about Darren Ferguson for the new manager? There's a possibility.
There is a possibility.
There's a possibility.
Should we play a quick birthday?
Let's have some birthdays. Right, first one, the greatest football player I've ever seen.
Glenn.
Our friend Glenn Hoddle.
Glenn Hoddle?
It's Glenn, there he is.
Look like Glenn.
I've got a friend called...
Finest thighs in the business.
Oh, absolutely, still. And a friend of mine, John Sims, who is the biggest Glenn Hoddle fan, he's a solicitor, and he celebrates Glenn's birthday by giving the whole office cakes on the 27th of October every year.
Nice.
So they'll be having cakes for Glenn. How old is Glenn Hoddle?
63.
No, he's older than me. He's 68.
Correct.
Right.
Oh, well done.
Very good. Right, another one. Let's go with this one. Yeah, that's Gordon Cowans. Do you remember Gordon Cowans? Played at Aston Villa? Aston Villa's Gordon Cowans. What do you reckon? I think
he's
played around the same time as Glenn Hoddle there, Ellie.
He's a European Cup winner, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Ooh.
That photo looks very 70s.
It is very 70s. It is definitely 1970s.
So I'm going to say...
There's no doubt about that.
71.
71 for Gordon Cowans.
75.
67.
Oh.
Let's go with the pop one. Let's leave out the cricketer. Let's go. It was David Warner from Australia. He's 39, but the ball tampering, we forget him. So anyway, let's go with Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran.
Doesn't look like him.
Oh, that's
50.
Oh.
No, he's 65.
65.
Yeah.
61.
67.
Oh.
Last one. The legend, formerly of this parish as well. John Cleese.
John Cleese.
How old is John Cleese?
82.
I think he's about maybe 86 or so.
On the money again.
Was it?
Eamonn, you're really good at
money
this.
Again.
What about my suggestion that I said earlier?
Which was?
You didn't put up the suggestion.
What was that?
Mary Berry.
Oh, is it Mary Berry?
Let me play it with you.
Let me have a go.
I'll play it with you. Right,
90.
Mary Berry, how old is she
Mary Berry
today?
or Halle Berry?
Mary Berry.
Mary Berry.
Come on, how old is she today?
89.
No.
88.
No. 90 today.
Oh, I was
well
so
done.
close.
The big 9-0.
Well done.
You were very
Well
close.
done, her, yeah, very
Happy
good.
Who does she
birthday,
play
Mary
for?
Berry.
Douglas Rovers?
She has ties to Norwich. We can make it sporty.
No, that was Delia.
Oh, that's Delia.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong chef.
Oh, I was close. Female chef. Close enough.
Close, but no blancmange.
I quite enjoyed being the other side of things
I like
there.
that. You do it tomorrow, please.
Yeah, I will. Thank you very much. Thanks, Coity.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
And we're talking about birthdays there, and it's also it's good to remember Adam Chance, or the guy who played Adam Chance, Tony Adams.
Tony Adams.
In Crossroads.
Huh?
You'd recognise him if you saw him, but yeah, there you go. Part of all our lives.
Passed away, didn't he, yesterday?
Passed away yesterday, yeah. Very, very sad.
Okay, still to come, the mystery of Agatha Christie's first published work has been cracked, and we'll bring you the answer to all of that right after this with Biggins and Dawn Neeson.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean all clear skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Hello, here's your latest holiday sun forecast brought to you by the Met Office. Western parts of the Med are set to see some thundery showers over the next few days, but mostly fine further east. So on Tuesday, the Canaries look fine, but across Madeira and certainly parts of Portugal, some heavy outbreaks of rain developing at times. The central part of the Med not looking too bad, isolated showers, some fairly warm sunshine in the east too, but also some thundery showers. And over the next few days, we hold on to thundery showers in the west, mostly fine though the further east you go.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camila Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off-limits. You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and now you've lost it. That's the Camila Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless. But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain's newsroom, weekday mornings from 9:30.
She's got a huge platform, so it really is wonderful that she's raised this issue.
Sandy, do you have any tips for parents who want to, keep screens out of the home? I find myself, as a parent, I'll be sort of Googling whether my son's development is right or whatever, or, Googling something about my son, and then I'll see that he's trying to play with me and I've been distracted by my phone. But I sort of have the best intentions, but I'm sure that's what everyone says. Do you have any tips for how to make phones and family more compatible?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly for very young children, they don't really have a good concept of time. So to say to them, you can have the device for 20 minutes means nothing. So what I recommend to families that I work with is that they have screen-free places in the home where no one has a screen, and there are particularly important ones. So meal times, which the Princess of Wales raised yesterday, that's hugely important. It's a great time for the family to get together and talk. And also children being on screens during meal times has been shown to contribute to childhood obesity, because children don't register when they're full and they don't stop eating because they're distracted. The other really good place to avoid screens for everyone is the bedroom, particularly the children's bedroom, because it affects the quality of their sleep, how long they sleep. And first thing in the morning is particularly bad. It's been shown that children who watch screens in the morning have worse behaviour, attention and concentration throughout the day. And they're far more likely to have a speech and language problem.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Got Biggins and we've got Dawn Neeson. They've got the stories in the papers today. Christopher, mansion tax, first of all. The Chancellor's talking about hammering homeowners in the budget with this one. So what is your reaction to this story?
It's disgraceful. I mean, I bought my house 37 years ago.
I love how they call them a mansion.
Yeah.
Everything's a mansion.
I know, exactly. But I bought my house, which is a very pretty house, in Hackney, and I paid £50,000 for it. It's worth about 1.3 or 4 million. Now, I didn't buy that house. I bought that house to live in.
Yeah.
And everybody, I think, but very few people buy a house for an investment, think, I'll make a lot of money in 37 years' time. And it's terrible that they suddenly think, now we've got these houses, we should pay extra money for them. When I think of the years I paid the mortgage and really suffered, and the day that I paid off the mortgage was just wonderful. But we've worked hard and we've maintained these houses. And it is disgraceful that they think, oh, they must be rich. Well, people aren't rich who've got these houses.
No.
But they're
the envy they cultivate over this, you know, and they say, you know, oh, look at that big, he's in £1 million.
Yeah, I know.
But you just bought well at the time.
Exactly.
You've worked hard since.
And also, it's my home.
And it doesn't buy you much in London.
It certainly
this
doesn't.
This is the problem. It's not fair because London and the South East and other places like Manchester and Cheshire and places like that, there are quite considerably small homes. I mean, you know, you're talking like literally little cottages if you're in a place in West London that could be worth £2 million.
I know.
The person living in it might be a pensioner who's been there all her life.
Absolutely.
Surviving on state pension, but because her house is valued at that...
Yeah. They're going to try and, you know...
I don't see why in this country we don't celebrate or feel happy for people who've made money.
Of course.
Politics of envy.
Yeah, it's politics of envy.
And that's where they live. That's where they enjoy their lives. You know, that's
Their
what is...
homes.
That's their home.
Yeah.
Right.
Dawn, I like this headline in the Daily Mail today. It's Trudeau love for Katy Perry.
We do love this story, don't we? I mean, it's such a girl. I think Katy Perry in that red dress looks, and it's in all your papers today, but she looks absolutely stunning. Any case, she and her, it's been long rumoured, but they've confirmed it by going out in Paris together, Justin Trudeau, and she was celebrating her 41st birthday with Canada's ex-premier, whose wife, by the sounds of it, doesn't sound that happy about this. They've split up, but they're not divorced yet.
They're separated, yeah.
Katy Perry was obviously with Orlando Bloom for a long time. She's got a 5-year-old with him. But, yeah, it is a confirmed relationship now. They look very happy in Paris together, celebrating her 41st birthday. And I just want to talk about it because I love the dress. I'm being such a total girl. She's got this most gorgeous, if you listen on the radio, it's a gorgeous, like, silk, just very simple, long red dress on.
I've had this all morning. Every time we sit in the green room, the bloody dress comes out all the time.
Like a night dress.
I think it looks hideous.
Eamonn!
You know.
I'm sorry, I love
That's
you.
lovely.
Am I not entitled to my opinion?
No.
A night dress, right?
It does, I agree.
Night dress.
She looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Long red dress. But no, it's like for me, it's like a weird crossover episode. You've got politics, obviously, ex-Prime Minister of Canada with a pop princess. I would never put them together in a million years.
No, I mean, he's growing into his looks, Ellie.
I think it's because she's on his arm.
Yeah, like many of the men we work with, they grow into their looks, don't they, eventually?
It's been good looking.
Well, they look very happy together.
Agatha Christie.
Yes.
So what's this? This is her first published work.
Well, they found this poem that she wrote, and you know, when she was, I think, something like 14 years old. Right. And there's a great excitement over it because it's Agatha Christie at her early days, but you know, before she became the legend that she is now.
She still had the inside to look as if she was going to be famous, had this talent.
Exactly. And I think it's amazing. I mean, you know, the fact that the Mousetrap is still on in the West End is...
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's worth seeing.
No, I haven't. It's on the to-do list. No spoilers.
I won't tell you, but it is...
You should take an afternoon and go.
I think we'd get like a house on fire. I'm going to wear my nightie if that's okay.
We'll all meet at the Ivy Club afterwards, opposite. You know, we'll have a nice drink. But I think you should see it. Yeah, exactly. It's great, and she is, you know, obviously a brilliant writer.
Yeah.
And and they're very excited. Two guys found this poem, and
Do you know where they found it?
They found it in a newspaper, I think.
Oh, wow.
They were doing research, and it was printed in a newspaper when she was 14 years old.
Wow. Incredible.
In the Daily Mail, Dawn, tell me, this is about aspirations and how people dream and what do people want 50 years on?
Well, this is amazing. The Good Life. Remember The Good Life, Ellie? No, won't
still
you?
watch it?
Yeah, well, it's great. It is running on TV now, but, you know, where it's sort of like, you know, it's, Tom and Barbara with their self-sufficient garden and sort of like an...
Surbiton.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just great. And evidently, 44% of us are still dreaming of that good life, the slower, pace of life. And 28% of Brits have attempted to grow their own fruit and veg in the last year. And this is a new survey that's come up by UK Gold, which is running The Good Life, obviously. There's a seamless link there. But
It's good for you, though, isn't it? The slower pace of life and gardening and all those things.
Yeah, no, it really is. But, I mean, that was just such a classic of its time, wasn't it? You know, you had the posh couple who were very affluent and sort of, like, had everything you wanted. And then you had Tom and Barbara growing their own. It was just very, very funny.
It's 50 years ago. It seems that there's now so many iconic shows which are celebrating 50 years, like Porridge, which I was involved in. It's now 50 years old. And it's amazing that 50 years ago we were making these programmes and they're still popular.
Biggins will tell you they don't make them like that anymore.
They certainly don't. They certainly don't.
Lost the complete knack of sitcoms and how to make them. I think the Americans took over with all that canned laughter and the Friends.
Yeah, so true.
Actually, there's rather a good series on at the moment, which is about 5 or 6 women forming a pop group.
Oh, I've seen that,
That is excellent. I really...
It's called Riot.
Riot Women.
Riot
Girls, something like it's really good.
Yeah.
Excellent. I can
Middle-aged
recommend
women
it.
doing it for themselves.
Yeah, very funny. Made me laugh out loud.
Doing it for us today, Christopher and Dawn. Appreciate it. Good having you.
Thank you for your fashion advice.
It's been usually
Thank
wonderful.
you very much. Let's get a check on the weather now with Marco.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good morning. Here's your latest weather update from the Met Office for GB News. During the wet day today, we'll see a mixture of sunshine and blustery showers across the UK. Those showers gradually starting to ease from the west, although at the expense of some rain arriving across Northern Ireland during the afternoon. So back to the detail for today, and we've got quite a keen northerly breeze blowing across the UK during the morning. Plenty of showers feeding down in that northerly breeze. And so the showers are starting to ease from the west into the afternoon, so mostly confined towards the north of Scotland and down the eastern counties of England as we go into the afternoon. And then later in the day, outbreaks of rain do reach Northern Ireland, certainly by the early evening. Temperatures generally on the chilly side towards the north still at around about 8 or 9 degrees, peaking at 13 or 14 down towards the south and southwest. As we go into the latter stages of the day, we hold on to quite a few showers across the northeast of Scotland. Still quite a brisk breeze blowing here. But notice out towards the west and southwest, those outbreaks of rain starting to push in from off the Atlantic, and certainly a wet end to the day across Northern Ireland with some heavy bursts of rain in places here. Some rain also pushing across the Irish Sea into West Wales and westernmost counties of England. But elsewhere across central, southern and eastern parts of England, it's a fine end to the day with fairly clear skies in places. As we go into the evening, though, and through the overnight period, it will turn more unsettled across all parts. Those outbreaks of rain pushing east and southeastwards across all areas, so a pretty unsettled night to come. And we'll see some snow across the high ground in Scotland. Cold enough here for a touch of frost as well by Tuesday morning. We'll see temperatures in rural spots down close to freezing, but holding up near at 9 or 10 degrees, so relatively mild there down towards the south and southwest of the UK. As for Tuesday, well, another unsettled day is in store. Low pressure dominating, giving further showers or longer spells of rain. I think the best of any sunshine between those showers will be down across parts of England and Wales, whereas again towards the north there, certainly across the highest ground in Scotland, still a bit of a wintry flavour to some of those outbreaks of rain with some snow across the mountains. Temperatures still quite chilly for the time of year, peaking at around about 7 to 10 in the north, up to 14 or 15 down towards the south. That's into the upper 50s in Fahrenheit.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M4 northbound, 2 lanes are restricted between junctions 27 and 28 due to a collision causing 2-hour delays. The M69 northbound in Leicestershire has a broken down vehicle leading to a 10-minute delay. Expect congestion on the A45 westbound in Coventry, clearing by 9:28. In Brighton and Hove, all lanes on the A27 eastbound are closed between Brighton West and the A293, with resolution by noon. And on the trains, there is disruption on cross-country services between Bristol Parkway and Gloucester, and Great Western Railway between Bristol Parkway and Swindon. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
It's the final week to see how you can become our biggest winner this year. First, you could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxury vehicle comfortably sleeps four, has its own fitted kitchen and bathroom areas, and comes complete with fitted awning and bicycle rack. And that's not all, as we'll also give you a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. Billions of pounds of taxpayers' money is squandered on asylum hotels.
A new report has found that a series of failures allowed the cost of the 10-year asylum contracts to soar from £4.5 billion to £15.3 billion.
Well, it's also revealed that the Home Office has failed to collect £46 million that it is owed. Earlier, the Shadow Business Secretary, Andrew Griffith, called it a waste of money.
It's a disgusting waste of money. If people haven't been even collecting overpayments, that's maladministration. Heads should roll.
David Lammy faces backlash from prison governors as he orders them to carry out extra checks on every inmate they release from now on.
Well, the system certainly needs improving, with 250 plus prisoners released early over the past year.
Rachel Reeves is leading a UK delegation to Saudi Arabia today as she searches for economic growth with less than a month to go until the budget.
Prince Andrew will leave his current home, Royal Lodge, if he can live at Frogmore Cottage. He has asked for 2 homes for himself and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson.
Hello, good morning. We'll see sunny spells across the UK during the day today, with showers gradually easing from the west, but further rain does arrive in the far west then as we go into the afternoon. I'll have all the details later.
And we say hello, good morning, and welcome to the show. We're with you until 9:30. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
A political story here and a personal story as well, and it's very, very important. For that, we go to the Housing Secretary, Steve Reid, who joined us now on the programme. And Steve, what I'm referring to is this young lad called Awab Ishak, and how he's going to be immortalised, I suppose. It'd be preferable if he wasn't, but his name will be remembered, hopefully in a good way. And what happened to Awab will not happen to other people. Tell us what did happen to him.
Well, good morning, Eamonn. Thank you for inviting me on. You're right, this is such an important story because little Awab was born to a family who were living in accommodation, a flat that was full of damp and mould. And they spent 2 years, his parents, telling the social landlord, which was Rochdale Borough Holmes, the problems they were facing, the impact it was having on their baby's health, but they did nothing. And tragically, a few days after Awab's second birthday, he died. And they've campaigned and they've fought for a legacy for what happened, and that legacy comes into force today. We're calling it Awab's Law, and it means that families living in social housing of that kind that report mould, damp, or related problems will get it fixed within 24 hours, or the social landlords will end up in court. So a legacy from a tragedy. I spoke to the family at the weekend, and the father, through his grief, of course, is glad that there is some legacy that others need not suffer in the way that their family has done.
Steve, what you're doing, in a way, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Correct in the right memory for Awab, absolutely brilliant. But, you know, if I was a landlord, right, if I was renting out a property, I know if someone said to me, you've got a problem, your window's cracked or your light bulbs aren't working or there's damp on the walls or whatever, I know I would do something about it straight away. But what really gets me, and yet people complain about this, people say, oh, you're taking away the right for people to earn money as landlords and be property owners and whatever. But there are good property owners and there are bad property owners, and there are too many of these bad people who are renting places out that are completely substandard.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. Of course, most landlords are decent, reasonable people who are offering people a home to live in that meet their expectation and standards. That's all well and good. We support that. But you occasionally get these rogues who are doing things differently. And when it's a social landlord, you know, these are people that are regulated by government law. They shouldn't be getting away with this. I've seen it in my own casework in my constituency, where I had 5 families in one set of blocks living in accommodation with mould, and the council would not respond. Well, with Awab's Law in force, now they will respond, or they go to court and they will face the consequences. We're supporting the good landlords, which is the vast majority, but for those who are not doing the right thing, from today, there's a change in the law, and they can be forced to put right conditions that make people sick. And it's not just babies. If you're a person with disabilities or respiratory problems or a vulnerable older person, this can damage you just as much as a little baby.
Can I ask you about this shocking story? Billions of pounds of taxpayers' money being wasted by the Home Office on migrant hotels. So the Home Office has allowed 10-year contracts to triple in cost, from 4.5 billion up to 15.3 billion. Also failing to claw back money that they're owed, 45 million pounds. Why is the Home Office struggling to get the basics right?
Well, I mean, these contracts are atrocious. They're wasting money and they're piling up people in hotels for years, and we've seen some of the social consequences of that, as well as the consequences for those individual people. You know, we inherited those from the previous government, and we know we need to change the system. So what the government's looking to do is, how can we build more cheap accommodation, say modular homes on disused army bases or military bases, and get asylum seekers into that accommodation, which is far lower cost, and save the taxpayer money. We've already saved $1 billion by changes we've made, but we know we need to save more. But then we also need to process the applications faster. The previous government chose not to process them at all. It's why there are so many people in the hotels. We put hundreds of new caseworkers in, process the applications faster, and then you can remove those people who have no right to be in our country. And we've already removed 35,000 since the election, which is a record. So that's work in progress. It's not job done. We've saved $1 billion, but we know we need to end the use of asylum hotels, and we will do it well within the lifetime of this Parliament. We're looking at military bases as a means to get that done more quickly.
Do you think, though, that British people want migrants on military bases in their local area? Is that really the silver bullet? Is that the best you've got?
No, absolutely not. No, the British people want people who have no right to be here removed quickly. And the point of increasing the number of caseworkers and then doing a one-in, one-out deal with France is so that we can identify those individuals and then remove them. We're already removing a record number, 35,000 since the election, but we know we need to go further. But because of the backlog that we inherited, we need to put those people somewhere. Well, let's cut the costs and let's look at military bases temporarily for housing people rather than hotels, which cost much more money.
Talking about costing money, Steve, the Home Office. I mean, we've got the front page headline in the Mail today: billions wasted on hotels for migrants. What do you think you're going to do to examine what the Home Office is doing and how it is spending money?
Well, I know that the Home Secretary is looking at that already. She's already ordered a rapid review into the use of taxi companies to get people to a GP appointment or a dentist appointment where they could have taken public transport or they could have walked. Excuse me. So she's looking at that already. But in the long term, Eamonn, and I don't mean very long term, within the lifetime of this Parliament, we want to end the use of hotels. They're costing far too much money. There are people making an awful lot of money out of failings in the way that those contracts were drawn up by the previous government. If we can build modular accommodation quickly on disused military bases, we can cut the cost, but then we need to process the applications faster, and that's why we've recruited hundreds more caseworkers, so that those who have no right to be in the country can be removed. And that is the tough approach that the public want to see.
Just before we let you go this morning, we have to ask you about Haydoush Kabatu, the asylum seeker who was jailed for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl in Epping, mistakenly released from prison on Friday, and it took 48 hours to find him. How did this happen? And should the Justice Secretary, David Lammy, go? We've just been speaking to the Conservatives, and they say heads have got to roll over this.
Well, it's unbelievable, first of all, unbelievable that this could have happened. I was as shocked as everyone else when I saw the alert come up on my phone over the weekend. Hard to believe this could have happened. And yet we know we've got a broken justice system. I hear what you say the Conservatives have said, but they broke the criminal justice system. Remember, they ran out of prison places, so there was nowhere to put people that got a custodial sentence. They sacked a third of the people working in that service. And when you break a system, then problems happen like the one we've seen.
But
the
with
Justice Secretary,
we're talking
David
about the
Lammy,
here and
will be
now.
speaking in the Commons behind me.
We're talking about the here and now. This happened under your watch. How could you let such a high-profile prisoner who has sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl out by mistake?
Yes, catastrophic. So David Lammy will be answering questions in the Commons behind me today, and he will be announcing the new checks that would be put in place to make sure this kind of thing cannot happen again. It's unacceptable.
The prison officers say they've got no capacity for that.
We need to make sure it doesn't happen in the future.
And the prison officers are saying they've got no capacity for additional checks.
When the Justice Secretary stands up in the Commons and tells them they will carry out these checks to stop accidental releases, they will follow his orders. We will not tolerate this as a government or as a country, seeing convicted criminals set loose by accident. Absolutely unacceptable.
Steve, good hearing from you, and good luck with what you're trying to do with Awab's Law today. So thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you, Eamonn. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Right, we'll hit a break there, and then we're going to bring you the very latest on those Home Office revelations next, OK? Eamonn and Ellie here, GB News Breakfast.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience, because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Dawdney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world, but look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
The biggest prize we've ever given away on the station, and it's the current Great British Giveaway, which isn't going to be current for too much longer.
4 days.
OK.
Finishes on Friday.
Yeah, but you could still win. Here we go.
There's 4 days remaining to see how you could be our biggest winner this year with a prize worth over £104,000. First, you could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. Worth over £74,000, this luxury vehicle comfortably sleeps 4, has its own fitted kitchen and bathroom areas, and comes complete with fitted awning and bicycle rack. And that's not all, as we'll also give you a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. Someone is guaranteed to win our biggest prize to date. But hurry, get your entry in now. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Now, a new memorial honouring the LGBT armed forces community has been constructed at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire.
Well, the King will be there. He's going to join the dedication event at the Arboretum, and up to 300 dignitaries and officials, members of the late Lord Etherington's family, and some LGBT plus serving personnel and veterans are expected to attend as well.
Well, let's speak now to Jack Carson, who's there for us this morning. And Jack, this is going to be a really important day, isn't it, for members of the community?
Definitely. This is going to be the first dedicated memorial to those who were LGBT plus serving in the British forces, when, of course, before 2000, there was a ban on them. And as we heard from Ed Hall, the chair of Fighting with Pride, who we spoke to in the last hour, he spoke to us very openly about how there was almost an interrogation when he openly came out when he was serving in the Royal Navy. Minister for Veterans and People, Louise Sanders-Jones, joins us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Give us a sense how momentous today is.
Oh, it is a hugely significant milestone. I mean, the Memorial Arboretum here is always an incredibly poignant place to come to, but I think walking through the doors today, I could really feel that huge sense of emotion. We've got veterans here who likely suffered under the ban, and then we've also got service personnel who might have been born after the ban as well. So bringing everybody together here. And I also think it's especially poignant because, of course, this was a recommendation made in the Etherton report. Lord Etherton sadly is no longer with us, but the fact that we're here unveiling it, and I know his husband is here as well, I think is a huge tribute to his work.
And there were a number of recommendations made in that review from Lord Etherton. You're obviously a new government a year in post since that review and those recommendations were made. What are the government doing now to ensure that those recommendations are still being met?
So we're carrying through all of them. So that included, for example, restorative measures, sort of financial ones. So we have the financial recognition scheme. So that is compensation for those that were discharged as a result of being LGBT+. And we also have non-financial measures as well. And this relates to restoration of rank if they had rank reduced. It involves a restoration of medals, and then also updates to the Gazette, for example. As well as that, we're also carrying forward all the other recommendations as well. For example, recognising the particular role of female veterans.
Now, the King will be here later to dedicate this. How special does that make today that not every memorial here at the Arboretum gets to be dedicated by His Majesty the King?
I think that is just a huge signal of support from His Majesty. The fact that he has chosen to come and support this one specifically. We know he's been a long-time supporter of the military and he does a lot of hard work supporting veterans, but the fact that he has come here for the LGBT+ memorial, I hope that everybody here will take huge comfort in that.
And what do you hope that this memorial will serve to be in the years to come when people can come and visit it here? What do you hope it comes and turns into in the years ahead? Because there are a lot of people from the LGBT plus community who still, haven't contacted the government around, like you saying, some of the recommendations, who maybe are still fearful after they were banned from the military for being openly out before the ban. What do you hope this memorial becomes in the next few years?
So, as well as marking how far we've come, I really hope that it serves as a reminder for the journey that we've been on. It was only 25 years ago that the ban was lifted. When I went through Sandhurst in 2013, there were still people who didn't feel comfortable about being out about whether they were LGBT+. I really hope that's not the case today. And I really hope that we can see this as a reminder of how far we've come, but that it also holds us true to staying on that course and not reverting back.
Louise Sander-Jones, Veterans and People's Minister, thank you so much for joining us this morning here at the National Arboretum, where, of course, that memorial will be dedicated a little bit later this morning.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate that. Very good.
Yeah, it's so shocking, isn't it, how recent that history is that we're talking about, 25 years.
Do you know Arboretum is a word I couldn't say for a while?
You can say it now.
Because Arboretum.
Arboretum.
It's LGBT+.
Plus. We were struggling a bit with that, didn't we?
Yeah, we're struggling a bit with that. But anyway, you'll not struggle with anything with Olivia and Alex this morning. Britain's newsroom from 9:30 with these two. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
What have you got?
Well, we're going to be talking about this absolutely shocking story that £46 million of taxpayer money has essentially just disappeared into a black hole because the Home Office haven't asked for it back. And to make matters worse, quite a lot of that money has gone straight into the hands of the Chinese Communist Party.
Really?
Some of these hotels were owned by companies with very close links to the Chinese Communist Party.
Word.
It is truly shocking. And we're going to be talking to Mark White all about that. What also baffles me is that it's costing, on average, £145 a night to put a migrant up in a hotel at the expense of the taxpayer. I stayed in a nice hotel in the middle of York a few weeks ago for less than £145.
You can get a hotel room for, what, 50, 60 quid?
Yeah, exactly.
It's luxury, isn't it? I think the CCP stuff, this Chinese Communist Party getting some of our taxpayer money, it's just another little knot in that rope that is hanging around the Labour Party and the ties we have to China. Of course, there's a lot more Chinese stories as well we could be talking about. But David Lammy's also had calls for his resignation over the absolutely scandalous release of that migrant Hadush Kabatu. How on earth has that happened? I think there needs to be some sort of inquiry into it. Let's not forget, if Labour were in the opposition at the moment, they'd be calling for heads to roll. So I'm not surprised the Tories are calling for that too. We've got loads more more. Rachel Reeves is in Saudi Arabia too.
Very hypocritical of the Chancellor here. The Labour Party said over and over again that the Tories shouldn't do deals with murderous regimes, and yet here she is going to Saudi.
There we go. What can we say? Hey, it's just hypocrisy after hypocrisy, isn't it? Honestly, it really is. It really is. We've got loads more, of course, as well. We've got obviously the soaring migrant hotel cost. Trump is in Japan to meet the emperor over there too. So loads more.
Good. Have a good show. Good talking to you. Thank you very much indeed. We'll be back again tomorrow morning, same time. But right now,
over to the weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good morning. Here's your latest weather update from the Met Office for GB News. During the wet day today, we'll see a mixture of sunshine and blustery showers across the UK. Those showers gradually starting to ease from the west, although at the expense of some rain arriving across Northern Ireland during the afternoon. So back to the detail for today, and we've got quite a keen northerly breeze blowing across the UK during the morning. Plenty of showers feeding down in that northerly breeze. And so the showers are starting to ease from the west into the afternoon, so mostly confined towards the north of Scotland and down the eastern counties of England as we go into the afternoon. And then later in the day, outbreaks of rain do reach Northern Ireland, certainly by the early evening. Temperatures generally on the chilly side towards the north still at around about 8 or 9 degrees, peaking at 13 or 14 down towards the south and southwest. As we go into the latter stages of the day, we hold on to quite a few showers across the northeast of Scotland. Still quite a brisk breeze blowing here, but notice out towards the west and southwest, those outbreaks of rain starting to push in from off the Atlantic, and certainly a wet end to the day across Northern Ireland with some heavy bursts of rain in places here. Some rain also pushing across the Irish Sea into West Wales and westernmost counties of England, but elsewhere across central, southern and eastern parts of England, it's a fine end to the day with fairly clear skies in places. As we go into the evening though, and through the overnight period, it will turn more unsettled across all parts. Those outbreaks of rain pushing east and southeastwards across all areas, so a pretty unsettled night to come. And we'll see some snow across the high ground in Scotland. Cold enough here for a touch of frost as well by Tuesday morning. We'll see temperatures in rural spots down close to freezing, but holding up near at 9 or 10 degrees, so relatively mild there down towards the south and southwest of the UK. As for Tuesday, well, another unsettled days in store. Low pressure dominating, giving further showers or longer spells of rain. I think the best of any sunshine between those showers will be down across parts of England and Wales, whereas again towards the north there, certainly across the highest ground in Scotland, still a bit of a wintry flavour to some of those outbreaks of rain with some snow across the mountains. Temperatures still quite chilly for the time of year, peaking at around about 7 to 10 in the north, up to 14 or 15 down towards the south. That's into the upper 50s in Fahrenheit.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. In Lancashire, a collision on the M6 northbound between junctions 27 and 28 has closed 2 lanes, causing delays of up to 2 hours. In Northamptonshire, a broken down vehicle on the A45 westbound between the A50